Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. We're never tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the champ and the tramp, let the bomb blast.
All right, here we go. What's up, guys? So you're back with the Champ and the Tramp. Today, our guest is our good friend, Jesse Holt. A lot of you guys came to know Jesse through my Instagram page, maybe even Frankie's Instagram page. We call him Uncle Jesse a lot of the time. My kids do.
Kung Pao.
Kung Pao is another name he goes by. I call him my little brother a lot. He's technically not biologically my little brother, but he's got a very interesting story. He's an interesting guy. The ladies love him. He was infantry member, 101st Airborne, served overseas in Iraq in 05-06, correct?
Correct.
Got some interesting stories over there. Fully disabled vet now. Does a lot of skydiving, really got into skydiving, and has recently started his own charity that involves taking wounded warriors skydiving, correct?
Yep, 100%.
Oh, it's wounded warriors or vets of all kinds, right?
So I'm doing mostly combat vets and disabled vets. That's my first thing to go to, but it's going to broaden out to other things other than that. I want to do a thing with Make-A-Wish too, Foundation. It takes people like that on skydives.
You took
100%.
Rory. You took Rory out, right?
Rory's my first one, man.
Yeah, really? Wow.
It was that was the deciding factor for me. I was so wish-washy about it. My whole family, friends, everybody's like, "That's the direction you should go. Change your life on a positive aspect."
You're saying skydiving changed your life in a positive
100%. It's something undescribable almost. It's something that unlock something in my brain, something positive, and then I wanted to share that with everybody, and that's all I talked about at first. I'm like, oh, you got da-da-da-da. Like, who's done it? I wanted to know. I didn't even know. I didn't even know this world existed. So when I took Rory on his first one, his whole demeanor and everything, like from the first moment I met him, and that was my first time meeting him, was there. It was just we met him through we just met him through mutual friends, stuff like that, Instagram. We connected. We're locals from the Jersey Shore, so I was like, you know what, he'd be a perfect one. Took him up, best experience of his life. It was, and that was my deciding factor that this is the route I'm going to go, and that's what I want to do.
That's what organization.
What is the name of your organization?
Team Fight for Flight.
Team Fight for Flight, guys.
Yeah. So
now how does it work? Do people just look you up, or you seek them out?
So this is all new to me. I started it into last year, into skydiving season. I've been in the works for 2 years. I've been wanting to do it. I kept pushing it off. Kind of like, you can make excuses for yourself. Like, I'll do it this year. It's not, time's not right. Time's not right. Time's never right. Just do it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I agree.
And that's 100% what it was. So I did that, and I'm running to other nonprofit charity groups around Jersey that are kind of reaching out to me in a sense, and they're like, well, you should do this. And they're kind of like, they're helping me out. Like Recalibrate's one. They're out of Ocean County.
I think I've seen them on Instagram or something.
I follow them on Instagram.
Yeah, they're a great organization. They do a lot of work with helping veterans transition back into society, which is, I think, is great. Because mine's a day experience just to get you out of like the whole stressful of life and this, that, or whatever the case may be. But they actually help transition on a weekly basis of other veterans coming out and trying to just incorporate back in the civilian world. It's very tough for people. I don't know if everybody can understand that. You go from, especially with combat, you go combat MOS, you born.
MOS, what's MOS?
MOS is your job title. So I was like 11 Bravo. So 11 Bravo is just infantry. That's what it means. You're a grunt. Mm-hmm. So we transitioned out of that into the civilian world. It is very tough because they kind of had to brainwash you in boot camp. I'm not gonna lie. Well,
I would also think the transition's a little tough because you guys go in there at a very young age, generally speaking. We talked about that with Rory. It's kind of all you know if you don't go to college, or Rory went in very young. I forget how old he was, but you don't get that proper transition into the real world. So that's great that an organization like Recalibrate does that, because
100% because we didn't have that at the time.
Right.
Nobody even knew about it.
You went in at what age?
I went at 19.
19, yeah.
So how did you graduated? You went south, right?
Yeah, I went to high school south.
And then what led you to the military?
All right, so what led me to the military? I always knew I was going to go to the military. That was embedded in me since...
Your family in the military?
Yes, and then I found out my whole bloodline comes from the military, all that. That's all I wanted to do. I love the U.S. Big supporter of the United States, man. Fucking diehard American. Grew up that fucking way.
Greatest country in the world.
Okay.
And I would have died for my country. That's 100% what I would have done. And I was ready for that. I still love America, man. We're the best country in the world. We're alphas. What? But on top of that, all right, so I always knew that I wanted to go in. So my family never pushed me to go the college route at all. They knew that all right, that's the route you want to go. Okay, man up. And when you go, when it comes that time, you need to do that type deal. So they kind of like let me
Was it the bravado of it and kind of the... the man's aspect, because you're one of those guys with the extra whatever it is, the fucking extra, what is it,
extra gear?
No, the guys have like what do they say, an extra chromosome or
Chromosome?
something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That makes you do like crazy shit, right?
I think I swear I think that's wired in people. Sometimes you got that extra craziness. If you don't have it, you don't have it.
But you've always been wired that way. So was that part of the attraction to the military? Like, hey, listen, I could probably see some action, or
I think that and G.I. Joes I grew up watching as a little kid. I swear, like Snake Eyes was one of my favorite G.I. Joe characters. I just love. I grew up in that era where I love that, and I know we were doing it like we're kind of doing it for a good cause. There was nothing evil that I seen that the military did. So I was like, all right, yeah, I definitely want to do this in life, and so I set out on that path. Got my way through high school, all that. Actually, Todd Frazier's dad was my principal the whole time. He told my father, because we grew up in baseball, him and my brother played baseball. So he told my father, he's like, Jesse figured out the system in high school, huh? And my dad's like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, he just figured out how to make it work for him. He
That's what I did.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the trick. You figure out the system and you make it work for you. Right?
100%.
Because honestly, that's what life is about.
Right.
If you're that kid that is like, I got to get straight A's on everything, you'll probably do all right in life, but you never really did the figuring out process of how to navigate around obstacles. You just did the short route and got straight A's. I navigated a lot of shit to get C's.
I swear on everything. I definitely finessed that. I was surprised that Tom's dad said that, but yeah.
Now, were you a wild kid when you were young?
Super wild.
Like wild as in to get in trouble, or just wild as in like adrenaline junkie? Like
adrenaline junkie. Yeah. There was nothing you couldn't dare me to do. Nothing. I would take any dare possible just to show you. I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing gonna not necessarily scare me, because there are things.
Like,
that,
would you eat someone's throw up? Someone dared you?
You did shove that G.I. Joe up your ass.
I did drink my own piss one time.
Dude, man, for a bet? Damn.
I peed in the Mountain Dew can. I tried to psych my boy out. They're like, no way, that's piss. And I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right, it is. They're like, oh, you won't drink it. And then like, yeah,
can you survive?
So wait,
some hydration from your own piss?
So drinking piss gets you an adrenaline spike?
No, it didn't. I wanted to prove a point. Like, oh, you saying I'm not gonna do it? I'm fucking definitely gonna do this.
You're in some weird porn, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I don't watch porn anymore.
Ever had a girl poop on
you?
Okay,
I don't watch. Wait, forget about that. Let's go back to the middle.
Let's sidetrack. All right, let's not sidetrack. All right, so
Frankie's keeping it so PG. He's like, he's sober enough where he's like, "Fuck, we're in my basement. My family's still up."
Yeah.
Because I can get crazy. You
Talking
guys know
about
this.
pooping on chests. Like, I can't have this in my house.
No, none of that.
Kids.
None of that. I'm not weird like that.
I hope not.
That was just a funny scenario when I was I think it was like 14.
Okay.
Side of Wawa or something. I don't know. I don't know how we even got there.
At least it was your own. If it was somebody else's, it'd be really weird.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
No, I would definitely want to do someone else's. But whatever. All right, so back to the military. So I was a wild kid during high school. I knew I was always going to go to the military. So me and one of my best friends, Damien Ortiz, were going to join the military together. That was a lifetime goal together. He was more like I guess you consider like the top dog in the group. But he ended up committing suicide right after high school, which fucked me up and a lot of my friends up. So I kind of postponed it for a little bit. I got my own apartment. My parents kicked I was on a wild path after that. So my parents kicked me out of the house, kind of told me like I need to man up a little bit more, and they seen the transition I was going through, and they were kind of like they kind of let me figure this out. You know what I mean? It was a tough scenario. What happened?
And it was the death of your boy.
My best friend, bro. Yeah. It's my first kid I met when I moved to Jersey from because I was born in California. So it was my first best friend in Jersey. So we were diehards our entire lives.
That's rough, man.
It was. It definitely was. He was a solid dude in life. But after that, I was just like, I don't know which way to go. I was kind of confused for a little bit. I got my own spot. I remember my parents stopping by. I was 19 years old. It was like a year after high school, and they stopped by the apartment. They're like, they stopped. All my brothers were there. Everybody was there. They're like,
was this the nudist apartment?
No, this wasn't.
Oh, okay. All right.
I did live in the nudist for a little bit.
All right,
but so they stopped by and they were just checking in on me. They're like, oh, we said you're gonna go to the military, just checking in on you, make sure everything's good. Because I kind of went my own route for a little bit. So after they did that, it was literally 3 days later, I signed up to the military.
And you're in just like that, boom.
Just like that. Sergeant Zastro, I still remember his name, signed me up, put me in.
Marines.
Army.
I tried.
Army.
Funny story. Ready? I tried Marines.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Wait, what? Wait.
This is crazy.
Marines are a lot stricter than.
Wait, you couldn't go in because you had tattoos?
This is a time of war, though, so they're not that strict at that time. They shouldn't be, at least, is what I was told. So I didn't have anything below. I had my rest in peace one from my mother. Oh, no, not even at the time. I didn't have that. I had a cross, Jesus up top, all right, and then I had the dragon on my arm, and that was it. But because it was a little bit below the sleeve line, they're like, we can't get you in. Army recruiter overheard it, showed me like an Airborne Ranger video. I'm like, that's the same shit. I'm like, let's do this. So I signed up with him. I immediately went in. I was like, he's like, how fast you want to get? I was like, immediately. So I guess I turned down a signing bonus. I didn't know that at the time. Everybody's getting like $10,000 signing bonus. Didn't know that.
Wow,
so
that sucks.
Yeah, no. That's what I said. Everybody's so it was a boot camp. Everybody's like, hey, you didn't get a signing bonus? So
could have finished that tattoo before you went in if you got that bonus.
Fuck. So right after that, went in, and let me tell you, when I got to infantry, the 100, like just any infantry boot camp was wild to me. It was a totally reality shock. I didn't even.
What you didn't expect?
Yeah, you can watch all these movies like Full Metal Jacket and all that. Yeah. It's crazy. You watch the movies until you actually live that. That was wild to me, man. My first day
the
there,
boot camp itself. Or
what year were you in? Was it back when? Are you old enough, or it was back when they could really like get in your face and
it was
like yelling so loud you got saliva and spit all? Not according to Rory and his boy. They say it's a watered down military we got
ready?
now, you know?
You want to hear a real scenario? Yeah. So right as I was getting out of boot camp, I heard they would come up with these cords called stress cords. You can hand that to a drill instructor.
No.
Be like, I'm heavily stressed out.
No.
Right
No way.
We gotta give you a 10-minute break.
No
swear to God,
way.
Bro. Swear to God, there's stress cords.
No fucking way.
I don't know if that would be approved in the infantry.
Dude, I'm reading a book right now, and they're talking about as early as World War I, English soldiers, if they were cowards, they would line them up and just execute them right in the field. I'm stressed out today.
Yeah.
This is the world we're turning into. But all right, so it's the same master. I said you kind of like a brainwashing, but you need to do that. You're literally on the front lines fighting.
Right.
So I turned back to the clocks to that time. I'm like, they had to do that. If they didn't do that, you can't tell these kids to go do these raids and do all these crazy stuff if they can't even you know what I mean?
If they're gonna curl up into a ball, because then they're costing our guys time, effort, money, possibly their lives, right? Because
Well, do you want to be next to someone that's really stressed out and unsure of himself?
No, and there was only one person I served with. I'm not going to mention any names, but like froze up in a firefight.
Yeah, that's scary, dude.
Yeah,
because it's for himself and for you and for your.
That's the same thing about like getting in a fight. Like if you're gonna get in a fight with your boys, like you want to know every single one of your boys are gonna fucking be there for you. Yeah. If not, it's like you're never gonna take them anywhere again like that. You know what I mean? So you kind of had to on the same aspect. So with that being said, my first day of boot camp, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So we had these big ass duffel bags with locks on the end of them. So they would lock them. They call A bags. They were chucking them off the back of 5 tons. Like that's where the boot camp. Like the drill instructor got you to your first. This is welcome to boot camp. They were chucking them off. People get in the head with locks and stuff like that, knocked out everywhere. Drill instructors are just swiping people everywhere. Everybody's on the ground. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I was like, what the fuck did I sign up to?
Damn. Part of you, the adrenaline had to be going through the roof.
It did. I was with it.
Be,
I was with it.
Yeah.
But just analyze it from coming from the civilian world to that. I'm like, bro, this is insane.
It's like new chapter.
I'm like, all right, well, you sign up for this, bro.
So
man, the fuck up.
Did you excel? I mean, you got into Airborne, so you must have excelled at boot camp.
Bro, heavily. So, like, boot camp, so this is how I am. I'm an extrovert. But when I'm in a different scenario and stuff like that, I kind of analyze the situation, sit back, and I'm not out there like that. I kind of just analyze, see what's going on, what drill instructors are doing what kids are doing what. And then I made my own clique in boot camp, which I fucking love. It kind of happened throughout life. I would make my own like little cliques throughout life, and I love that.
Groups,
you know what I mean?
of people.
Groups of people, groups of great humans. You know what I mean? So all right, so we'll get it past the boot camp. So right towards the end of, let me tell you the end of boot camp. So right towards the end of boot camp, I got a phone call. Pretty much, it was like 2 weeks later. Right towards the end of boot camp. So there's a field training exercise that lasts 2 weeks. It's how you graduate boot camp. I got a phone call from a drill instructor called me down. Got on the phone. It was my mother. She's I knew she was having kidney issues, but they told me it was nothing, but it was kidney cancer, and it was ending up like killing her. So I got that phone call that crushed me. Like literally,
your mom is calling you to tell you she has a cancer diagnosis.
Yep.
Oh wow.
This is when you're at the end of boot camp.
Right at the end.
Wow.
And she was like, you know what, Jesse, I want you to finish. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing for our country. Finish and come back and see me. Those are exact words. And that's like, that mentally, that fucked me. That I was in a mental state of like, I'm still in boot camp, so I had all that stress, and then my mother dying. I'm like, oh, bro, it was probably the most hardest thing I've ever had to go through, because I was always like kind of like a mama's boy. So it's like, you know what I mean, like with that, and then I heard that, I'm like, but the fact that she was like, just continue. She waited. She literally waited for me. So I finished boot camp. I didn't graduate with my class. I finished everything I needed to do to graduate. And I think I was supposed to go to Korea after boot camp. That all changed, though. So I got to go back home, see my mom. When I seen her, she looked like she was 90 years old. Oh, she went from like 40s to 90s because cancer just ate her away, pretty much. So, and a lot of people don't know this. So my mom was an amputee. She was in a bad motorcycle accident when she was 18. Then later on in life, like I think I was like a teenager sometime, she ended up getting amputated. And then she said that was the worst mistake of her life. And then she was just on a bunch of different medications and stuff like that, which I think caused the kidney cancer. Yeah. Think about that. All that stuff going through your body.
Failing. Yeah, could be.
Who knows what she was on back at the time.
There's a correlation there. I mean, there definitely is, yeah.
So, and that's where I get my crazy side from, is my mother's side. She was like always one that wanted to go skydiving. So that was embedded in me ever since a little kid, on the flip side. But so that happened. I graduate, come back, see her. She passes away. And then I was crushed for a long time.
Passes away you're with her?
I'm with her,
okay.
yeah. So she waited for me. Yeah. So they say they wait. That's like a thing I've always heard. Like, like a loved one will always wait for you. Like if they want to see you before they pass. And that happened. Yeah. Which I believe, honestly, was my guardian angel in life ever since then. So the story gets crazy after this. But, so I got to see her. I went back to my unit, Fort Benning. Yeah, Fort Benning. So they reassigned me to a different duty station. That's how I ended up in the 101st Airborne. But I had to go to Airborne school there at Fort Benning, Georgia. I did that. I didn't know anybody there. So this is like
because now you're not with your unit anymore.
I'm not with my unit anymore. Right. So everybody disappeared. Right. Now with my unit, I come back.
Why do they split you up? Does the people you do boot camp with are the people you serve with?
Was it because you took time to spend with your mom?
Yes, because I took time to spend with my mom, but you're right. They had us separated, though.
Mm-hmm.
So normally when you finish boot camp, most people go off to the same duty station in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was going to go to Korea or something. I didn't end up going to Korea, obviously.
That's funny you say that because my dad graduated boot camp, and that's where he went.
He went to Korea?
Most everybody in his infantry platoon, whatever, his group, most everybody went to Nam, which is almost like a death sentence, getting sent there. There's 100%. High likelihood you're not going to come home. He somehow, some way, he was also airborne, went to Korea.
Okay.
So he was in the DMZ in Korea and did his tour over there and saw a little action, but nothing crazy, nothing like the Vietnam guys did. So
fuck that. Yeah, it's probably his blessing though in life. That's probably why he's still here. Honestly, you know.
My dad went in during Vietnam time, but I think it was the end of Vietnam. I guess he went to Germany.
Shit.
Yeah.
At least he still went in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like the people that I said that were gonna sign up with me that didn't go, I think it's probably a blessing, man. He probably just survived. You know what I mean? That it probably meant more in life. There's another path for you in life, and that's what I try to tell people. So I went to the 101st Airborne, which are fucking the greatest unit. I swear. I'm not just. I don't want to just talk it up like it is, but it was, bro. When I went there, so my first sergeant was a part of Black Hawk Down.
What? Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
First Sergeant Belda. He's retired now, but he was
What do you mean a part of Black Hawk Down?
In Somalia when the whole shit went down.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
but you say it's part of it. Most of those guys.
He was a PFC at the time.
Perished. He was in another Huey that came in, or what?
No.
Not Huey Black Hawk. I meant.
So the only scenario I got from him, I'll tell you. So when I first got to the unit, he calls you in. He's the first, kind of almost one of the first people you see. He called me and he's like, I don't care what these fuckers tell you. Never mention Black Hawk Down. Don't ask me about it. I've been there, witnessed it. The movie was bullshit. That's what he told me. And he's like, that's it. So he kind of just left it at that. I'm like, with a first sergeant like that.
He was sort of legendary because people knew that he
fucking
did.
legendary, bro.
Okay.
And you say, Roger that, first sergeant. That's it. So I did. And then he was the best leader, man. I got there. I met my guys. I met everybody from the unit. When you're in a new unit though, you get like you consider like a boot or like a cherry. A cherry means like you haven't had your cherry pop, you haven't been overseas, you haven't done this, you haven't done that, or you're just a boot. You're just like, same scenario. So I got there, met a bunch of awesome people from all over the world. It was a big trade, and I made my own group there too, though. And from NCOs, which you're not technically as a private, you're not even supposed to be around NCOs like that or anything like that. It's frowned upon. But they did. They would take you in, and that's the type of leaders I like that would take you in, tell you, listen, bro, when it comes to work, you listen to what the fuck I say, and anything else, pretty much I'm in charge, and you can never question it. But outside of work, we could be friends, man. And that's that's the type of leadership I like.
As long as you didn't cross that line.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's frowned upon in the military.
They don't even want you to even.
They don't even want
that.
you. Yeah, they want you to entertain that at all. But I met a bunch of great NCOs like that and officers, which I connected with, and I got their rules, and I'm like, all right, you know what? You're right. But so right before we got deployed, so I was only in the unit for like not even a year, and we got the orders to get deployed again. And then this time, so the first push for the 101st was in Mosul. And the second push was going into what they call the Triangle of Death. Triangle of Death was heavy insurgent cells operating out of there, and we had to shut them down. That was our
cells mean like terrorist cells.
Terrorist groups, yep. So that was our main objective out there. And that's what we were told. We trained up on it.
We said in where?
It was southwest of Baghdad. About 20 miles, called Triangle of Death. Mohammedia, Yusufia, and Udafia. So with that being said, pretty much half our NCOs got taken out. They got put with what was called a MITS team. So a MITS team was training Iraqi soldiers on how to kind of be soldiers in a sense. And then the other people so NCOs are like pretty much like sergeants, lieutenants, and like staff sergeants, sergeant first class. So they took out half of it out of our company, Alpha Company, out of the 101st Airborne.
On patrol, out, not in your base.
No, they put them to a whole different base.
Oh, Oh,
Yes.
they went, okay.
So they didn't stay with us anymore. They controlled.
I thought you meant took them out. Okay, I got you now.
Yep.
So they got sent somewhere else. The enemy didn't kill them.
No.
Okay.
They control. Mohammedia was ours. That was Alpha Company.
Gotcha.
Mohammedia, Yusufia, Udafia. That was the other area of operation. It's called.
Okay.
So they took him out, and then leadership had to step up. So as a PFC, I was promoted as a team leader, and then when I went overseas, I was a gunner. So that's what it was at first. So I was the first 3 months. We got deployed. All right. So let me retrack a little bit. So we got to Iraq. It was 2 weeks. We got put in Baghdad, Camp Victory. That was a crazy. When I first got there, I'm like, I didn't know what to expect, but it was a huge ass base. I'm like, this is not bad. I'm like, oh, when we get their area operation yet? I'm like, okay. So we got flown in on Blackhawks, middle of the night, to FOB Mohammedia, and when we got there, we took fire on the flight in on Blackhawks, landed. It was completely blacked out, and the pilots fly with night vision. I think that's fucking crazy as fuck. Think about that.
They wear night vision,
and that's all they
so they don't have
no
lights.
lights.
Oh wow,
There's no lights anywhere.
You're fucking
Think about flying like
picking
that.
you off.
Right.
Yeah.
A Blackhawk, bro. That's how we used to roll.
I mean,
all
you
the
can
time.
hear it. I mean, it's loud. It's a fucking helicopter, right?
But you don't see it,
Yeah.
and they're flying and they're landing like that.
Wow.
I think that's so
crazy.
gnarly.
Yeah, that is.
That
man.
is.
That is wild.
It is, bro. And so we took
So you
fire.
were taking
in.
fire and you weren't shooting back.
No, nobody said it was like right before we got landed on our fob. So it was very quick. It was only small arms fire.
I was gonna say it's all small arms, and you can see
Very
see the
quick.
fire flash
Yep.
from the.
And then they threw
muzzles?
flares out real quick from the helicopter. That's like kind of like and then kind of veered off, and then we didn't take any more fire. Therefore, we didn't have to return fire like that.
That's when you throw the flares off. They almost aim for the flares.
Yes,
You guys are
and
gone.
then they divert real quick. They're
Yeah,
smart
yeah.
with it,
Yeah.
but I don't even know how they do that. It's crazy. So we land there. It's a steel factory. So it looks like straight up out of the Terminator type shit.
Like a foundry.
Oh, bro, I have my night vision. I'm walking around. I'm like, where the fuck
Wait,
are
so
we?
you all wearing have night vision on?
Everybody.
Dude, that's fucking crazy.
And we have a whole gear because we're just getting to our base. I'm like, bro, where are we right now? This is crazy. So we get there. It's like the base is only a mile. It's called a FOB, forward operation base. The FOB's only like a mile and a half, like I think a mile and a half around. That was it. But yeah, this was my first night there. It was crazy seeing that. And I woke up. I was like, oh shit, it's an old steel factory. I didn't even know that. Because they limit the information given to us.
That's something you never hear of in Iraq. It's famous for oil. And I didn't know they had steel factories in the middle of the desert. Did you?
Ours was like city and then desert.
Okay.
So Mohammedia was like a city, and then you had like the country land out there too.
Okay.
Most action happened in the country land though. All right, so we get there. All that happens. So it was like a week to 2 weeks in. We lost our first casualty there, Smith. Smith was part of my platoon, and he's from Wisconsin. PFC Benjamin Smith, from Wisconsin. He was our first casualty in. Got hit by IED, improvised explosive device, first 2 weeks in. And
was he in a vehicle or?
Yeah. He was a gunner. So with that being said, I'm like, fuck, this is 2 weeks in. I'm like, this is crazy. So remember I told you my first sergeant, Belda, was a part of Black Hawk Down. Mm-hmm. So we never talked about that ever. Gets there. I wish I could have recorded this. I don't remember it because a lot of emotions going by. But he told the most epic story about Black Hawk Down and like how we need to get back out there right now. And I was thinking in my head like, bro, we just lost like a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean we need to get back? But I get the bigger, like, after you told the story, I'm like, you know what? You're 100% right. We need to get fuck back out there. But everybody at first was thinking, like, bro, we should have go back out. We just lost our first one. You know what I mean?
Man, that's why he's the leader, right?
Yeah.
You
But
guys.
that was such a epic speech that I didn't expect. And I wish I recorded it, man.
That's why he's a leader, because
Yeah.
clearly he has the ability to inspire. So
100%. It was the most touching story ever, and I
can
don't
still,
remember.
Years later, I can still see the passion about it. You know,
I
whatever
do.
he
That's
said.
something I always remembered in my life, but I can't remember full details of it. It was just, like I said, a lot of emotions go by. But after that, pretty much we did our thing out there. I want to keep it like, I got so much shit to say, but I'm trying to keep it like shorter. but we did well.
Like your missions, you're saying you guys accomplished your missions?
We shut down certain cells out there. We shut down certain cells throughout Europe, throughout other countries.
Wait, so you were in Europe, or the
No,
cells
that's-
originated there and that went to Europe?
So we found out, like, all right, so
Intel, basically.
Intel, yes. Off a big cache we found. Caches like with weapons, bomb making material, laptops, all this. That one that was reported to, they were getting stuff from Europe. They were getting stuff from all over. Iran troops were coming in, training Iraqi soldiers on how to kill us. They had videos of that that led to a bunch of stuff we really don't know too much about, but it led to like special forces and Navy SEALs doing raids all throughout Europe and
The common public doesn't, people view you guys in different ways. Some good, some bad, obviously.
True.
I will always view you guys as heroes. You're doing a job that you were put there to do. But, a lot of people that don't know what you do might view you guys as monsters going to another country and
Of course.
driving through. But the way Rory described it was most of what they did on patrol and on these sweeps was reactive. You didn't just go out and you're not just pulling guns. You responded to fire taken upon you the majority of the time. Is that what your experience was like?
Yes, for the most part it was, but then things changed real quick. So as soon as we started detaining people, or people we called on the blacklist, so we do all these raids. So I've done so many raids on Iraq.
That's like you at a lot of the clubs in Seaside. You're blacklisted.
God,
You are. We'll talk about that later, folks. But
But like when you raid, what's the scenery? What's the atmosphere like? Is it
So
just,
raids,
like, what kind of buildings?
All right,
how
so-
you raid? Housing, like separate houses. Obviously it's nothing like fucking outside here.
No,
right?
not even close. So raids would be like, they called us. Their term for us were Village Undi. Village Undi means shadow soldiers. So we come in at night and we do raids, pretty much for the most part. But every time we did a raid, it would or snatch and grab. It's called snatch and grabs, raids, or we're doing a terrorist camp raid. There's so many different types. I've done them all, and they're all gnarly. They're all crazy. But I loved it for some crazy reason. That adrenaline rush from it, and I knew we're going after bad guys, evil people of the world, like people that like slaughter people and like torture them.
I think that's another thing that we should have a conversation about. Is my feeling on that is truly there are just some people, a lot of people here in America, that just do not believe that evil exists. I mean, there has been people. There's a woman who thought she could hitchhike through Iraq and be fine and just give love. She was raped and murdered in like no time. You know what I mean? It was either Afghanistan or Iraq, but like evil is out there. It exists.
Evil is everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And we need to. That's why I love what we did as Americans, because I knew what we were there for. My unit, at least, we're there strictly to protect people.
Mm-hmm.
So there's people that came up to us that were interpreters and stuff like that lived in Iraq, that were afraid to admit that because they would kill the whole family. They would be slaughtered.
What if they
instantly.
sympathize with the U.S.? They would kill their whole family. Is that what I mean?
No, because they were Christians. Oh, I didn't get to that part. So they were Christians, but Iraqis living there.
But they couldn't admit they were Christians.
They could not.
Yeah,
or they would slaughter the whole family.
Wow.
And there's been times like that. So where did I leave off at?
See, I never thought that. I thought they were.
I didn't think
thought
that.
it was a country of Muslims, which
I didn't
No,
think
it's
that.
like
certainly not.
Syrians have a lot of Christians too. They get persecuted out there, I think.
It's a crazy world, and like it's even sad that it comes down to that. But that's the facts, and that's what it was. And and this interpreter was like a ride or die dude, but he was a Christian.
Really?
He was afraid to even say anything to
So
anyone.
how
He couldn't.
How can you learn about Christianity? You can't even have a Bible in your house.
But
How do you learn about it? You can't go to church.
Yeah, I guess
You
not.
can't have
They
a
got the
Bible.
internet.
I
No,
never
they have
asked
the
that.
internet?
I never asked that actually, bro. At the time, I didn't.
They say the
He
fact
said
that
he still prayed all the Muslim prayers.
I
and all
probably
that
had to
stuff.
put up a front.
Yeah.
But they say the internet is actually kind of westernizing all the Arab
Yeah,
countries
could be.
and everything. They're
Porn is bringing us together, people. Porn is
Dude,
going to
I
do it.
literally got a petition to get rid of Pornhub on my email today.
You
Are you kidding me?
If you sign that, I'll quit right fucking now. I'll fucking quit right now.
Dude, I'm like, what the
I'm gonna watch it.
They're saying, oh, it's that's the way to combat sex trafficking, because I think Pornhub has sites for something with sex trafficking. I don't know. I
ever heard in my life.
Oh God, really?
Yeah. I didn't sign it, everybody.
That is the dumbest.
I don't watch porn anymore.
He doesn't watch porn anymore.
Yeah, he said he makes a lot of claims until he gets drunk. He makes a lot of claims.
But yeah, that is the truth.
Once in a while, he'll come to me and be like, "Bro, I'm back doing the monk life," and I'm like, "What is the monk life?" I'm giving up girls, giving up drinking. Maybe a week, 2 weeks later, we'll go out. He'll get banged up, be like, "I'm taking her home."
Oh God, no.
Alcohol changes Jesse into a completely ulterior human.
Sometimes it does,
and I love that human so much. I love that human.
It does, for the good or for the bad sometimes. I mean, not necessarily. I'm pretty much good to go. I'm not a bad person to get drunk with.
No.
I
so
will.
far,
I will
Saturday was a good
wander.
time.
I know, right, bro? Polar bear plunge was fucking amazing with you guys.
That was.
Yeah, but him and I came home. You stayed in Seaside.
I did stay in Seaside. I was having cheesesteaks. You guys were like, oh, you guys you're the single guy. You need to fucking stay here. And
That's
I'm like,
true. You do.
You guys said that. I'm like, you know what? You guys are right. I love you guys.
we all jumped in a van. We did the Seaside, the Polar Bear Plunge for a great cause. We did this last Saturday. Raised a lot of money. Our team raised $30,000 for Special Olympics.
Fuck yeah!
All told, because it was a huge turnout, $2.5 million.
Yeah, it's
raised,
the biggest ever, right?
We went a little early to register. We did have a couple shots at the bar, a couple drinks at JR's. Our good friend Kevin owns it. Jesse was part of the Polar Bear Plunge. He was there with us. But we pretty much just left right after the plunge. We jumped in a van to take us back home. Jesse jumped in, and we're all looking at him like, bro, what? This town is packed. Like, what are you doing with us? He immediately jumps back out. So,
Bro, but tell me you didn't enjoy that, the Polar Bear Plunge.
So I'll never miss a year. I'll never miss a year.
I grew up in Jersey.
And you never done it,
I grew up in Tom's River. I never did it.
It was only my second year, dude. And I'm like, dude, I'm hooked.
I didn't even know it was for the Special Olympics.
All right, listen.
Camaraderie and the good energy.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Such good energy.
Now, like, think about this. Like, how many times have you been to Seaside for St. Patty's Day, for July 4th, Memorial Day, whatever?
Fights everywhere.
Fights, this and that, right? But, and like, dude, it was, because we were there for a good cause. Everyone was there. I mean, all right, everyone was there to get drunk and jump in the fucking water.
I didn't see one shoulder bump, and you couldn't even move.
People were there because of the Special Olympics, and you could see that. You could feel the camaraderie. You could feel the community, and it was fucking cool, man. No beef, not even a little bit.
Zero.
Yeah.
I'll never miss a year.
And I stayed the whole night. I didn't see one beef at all. Yeah. Not at all. And it was an amazing experience. And I'm glad I experienced it with you guys. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
And I will do that every year. I'm a lifer. I told him.
That's it.
I told you.
We're
both lifers.
For sure. So all right. So now you said you do your company, right? As you call it, your company. You did what you had to do in Iraq.
Yeah. All right. So. All right. So I did over 250 raids. That's like just a base number. It's well over that. I think. So do you count the doors you kicked in, or do you count the raids you've been on? I don't know. So it's way above that. Like I said, our job was just shut down in certain cells. We did it, and I personally have been blown up 7 times in my life. 7 times.
Wow.
Some people more than me. My one of my squad leaders was like
now,
20.
Define that.
Blown up was like. So my definition of blown up is earning your combat infantry badge type deal. So you have to be within a certain type of meters from it.
Okay.
I was within 5 meters of all of my ID explosions.
Oh wow.
3 were in the gunner turret.
Part of your, correct me if I'm wrong, part of your being disabled and from the military and getting the pension and all that is hearing loss, correct? Because you were so close to.
Well, what the hearing loss is like, very. Yes, that's one of them, but it's mostly the TBI, traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, right.
They can hook up brain mapping tests to your brain now, and discover that's. So I
feel like you was never that bright to begin with, so you probably.
No, I was actually very intelligent. I was, but I did play stupid a lot in my life. I'm not gonna lie. That's what got me out of a lot of like high school things. I'm not gonna lie. Like I failed a lot of my placement tests, to get put in a lower track class for the reason I knew I wasn't going to be a school guy. I didn't want to go to college. I didn't
You
want to do
weren't
any of that.
You were never working for NASA.
No, I'm not doing that. I
Neither
didn't
was
wanna do it.
Neither was I, brother.
didn't wanna do it.
Neither was I.
So I purposely failed those tests for that reason.
Isn't it funny how life has a way of working its way out, though? You were almost destined to end up where you ended up. I mean, it's
100%.
It's such an integral part of your life story. I mean, the guy's tattooed head to toe. We're similarly tattooed, but his entire back is a remembrance piece to all of his buddies that he lost. I mean, show the camera your back real quick.
All right.
It's all of his how many guys are on your back?
There's it's Smith, Waits, Kubik, Alvarez, and Machaca. So there's 5.
Okay.
Damn.
But
Those are all my close friends, though. Those are all like my ride or die people.
Right.
There's a lot more we lost there, but those are like the people, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
my ride or dies.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. There you go, ladies. Now show them show them the abs. Come on, you got to show the girls the abs. Come on, buddy.
Roger wants to see the abs. Roger wants that.
Who needs Pornhub when you got Jesse down here? I'll be back in half hour, guys. I'll be in the bathroom.
Half hour? Are you kidding?
This fucking guy got jokes. Still mad about his ears.
Yeah. Hey.
The good ears, they knew not to fuck with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the ears you know, like you look at him like, I'm not gonna fuck with him.
You remember the barn?
I do. Yeah. I fucking love the. I mean,
so Jesse and I mean, we've known Frankie a long time, but we were both super fans of Frankie. I mean, he was he's a bit of a Tom's River legend, truly beloved in this town. But he started, and I know I'm off subject here, but we're all friends, so we're just gonna bounce around. Just bear with us. We're gonna bounce all over the place here. We'll get back to Jesse's story.
That's what I'm talking
about. Frankie, I heard this through Jesse, actually. Jesse's like, yo, Frankie's going to start teaching like an MMA class at this place called The Barn. It's like this legendary barn in Jackson that Steve Rivera, who's obviously a legend in the wrestling community, but Frankie Edgar was going to start teaching there, right? And it was going to be like a introductory, almost, if you will, MMA class. So Jesse told me about it. I was like, bro, we fucking gotta do this, right? We gotta do this. So we rolled at the barn for what, like a whole summer, right? I think we were there about.
No, we did almost 2 years, bro.
Were we there 2 years?
It was almost.
It was only like 1 or 2 days a week, but it wasn't a lot. But it was. We'd get our asses kicked, but weekly.
It was almost 2 years. Yeah,
was it? Yeah.
Yeah, remember
it was definitely almost 2 years.
Remember we
Well,
started
right in the middle
we
of
started
that,
in Jackson, then we had to move when Steve had the
Yes.
issues
Yes.
with the property. We
With
had to go all
Tom's
the way
River?
down. Yeah.
Or was it
no,
Tom?
we were in
No.
Jackson, then we moved
We were
all the way out.
Somewhere in the
Like
middle.
Glory's
Right
Deli.
by the
Like Glory's
turnpike.
Deli.
Yes.
Yeah, all the way the
195,
fuck out there
195.
with the barricades there and shit.
Yes.
Right by
Yeah.
195, yeah.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the middle of that, though, I broke a collarbone. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, we roll. It was me, Jesse, and probably maybe 5 or 6 other guys that were friends.
Some of your
with,
military buddies, no?
Yeah.
a couple of them. We'd usually
I got a
ride
good
out.
story with
We'd
that
usually
too, though.
ride out together and get all fucking like super pumped up. Like, well, we're gonna fight. We all thought we were gonna be fighters. We were all like, oh, we're gonna fucking be the next UFC guys.
Oh fuck!
We didn't know shit. We didn't know anything. We could barely fucking shrimp out of a.
No, but no. You taught very well.
You did.
Steve Rivera did fucking awesome too.
Yeah,
The
Steve
barn was
Rivera.
fucking amazing. But with that being said, Frankie loved put me with him. That was his pet. Like that was his.
That's
thing
not
to go to.
That's actually not true. Because that's actually not
listen,
true because
listen.
there was a very heavy set. He was the nicest kid ever, but there was a very heavy set kid. Kid was big boy. He was a nice. You remember him?
He came towards the end.
Kid weighed like 300 pounds, and because I was the big guy,
Yeah.
I would have to fireman carry this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like we'd have to run laps.
Fucking
Frankie would be
love
like,
that.
you and whatever his name was. I'd have to pick this kid up over my shoulders and run like laps around. And I was like, fucking kill me. Put this kid with somebody else for once.
That's
Bro.
how I felt.
You're a fucking giant. You gotta go with the big guy.
Nah, but you usually put me and him together because you knew I hated it. So I had my boy Mike Trinley. I'll call him out. Mike
He
Trinley.
brought a kid that was going to kick my ass one day. That's right.
I was like, I fucking hate wrestling, fucking Roger. I was like, I don't like to grapple with him. I don't like to spar with him. I like to do nothing like that. And Frankie, you loved it. You're like, oh, Jesse, Roger, you guys are together. I'm like, you motherfucker. I hate you.
The whole way home, Jesse
you know
used to
why?
complain that my beard would burn him. He'd be like, bro, I got burns all over my
What?
face. from your
In
beard."
his thigh? In his thigh?
Inner thighs were
His inner thighs got
chafed.
roughed up?
They were chafed horribly.
You did though. I'm not gonna lie. You destroyed me. And then one time,
Your inner thighs, yeah.
really got me pissed the fuck off was when we were right against a fucking concrete wall. I'm thinking like, oh, he's not gonna spear me. You spear me into a concrete wall. I seen swords for a second. I'm like, bro, I don't.
You did get pissed. Dude. You got pissed. You got pissed.
But I don't even say no when I get pissed. But yeah, I did for a little bit. But Mike Trinley, a couple days later, he's like, I told him that we were doing the whole thing with you. He's like, oh, I want to come train with Frankie. Da da da. I think I don't want to train with Roger. That was my big thing. I was like, I don't want to train with him. He's like, I got him all day.
He did too.
I warned you about it. I told you all about it. I'm like, yo, Mike wants you. He's like, I'll bring it.
I was a little younger, more agile back then.
Oh, you brought it though. You brought it to him so hard.
Bro, Roger would never tap. We had the one picture you sent me.
Hey, listen.
The one picture you sent me, you're like,
Never.
I'm fucking like, you're like, ah, what the fuck?
But listen, he probably could get me. Truth be told, Mark Lee, friend of Frankie's, goes to most of his fights with him, warms him up, corner guy. He's a fireman, but he's a good fighter.
Great coach.
Listen, if Frankie just said Mark Lee, who's a lot smaller than me, you and Roger go at it, Mark would get me because he's very talented. But he was trying to show a move, and I think it was a north-south choke. And you told Mark Lee to put a north-south on me and get and just put it in. He was showing the class, and I was determined to not tap. I was like, I will not tap. I went out. Lights fucking out.
He didn't tap. He didn't tap.
I fucking went face on the mat. Next thing I know, everybody's like, you okay? You okay? And I'm like, why are they asking me if I'm okay? What the fuck? I didn't even know I went out. Yeah.
Bro, you wouldn't tap. You wouldn't. There's no way. You weren't having it.
Probably if there was some big...
Bro, I almost broke your arm the one time. So,
yeah.
Back to the military.
Yep.
All right.
So, yeah. All right. So, I left off, I did a bunch of raids on Iraq. We shut down on certain cells.
Now you said blown up 7 times.
Oh, yeah. I didn't really get too elaborate with that. I've been in a couple firefights, too, where... All right, so let me get back to... One time that I got blown up. I was being a gunner at the time. I was second vehicle. So first vehicle always puts a gun to the front. Second vehicle picks right or left. It's whatever way you want to pick that day. Something told me, I don't know. It was crazy. Something told me to go right side. Pick to go to the right. I'm like, I didn't know what that was. Usually I go left. I don't know what. I like to go left. I don't know. Go left. So I went right side, and we're driving down highly IED road, improvised explosive devices. I felt this whole vibe come over me. It was it's kind of like an electric shock. I try to tell people that took over me, and I felt it, and I was praying at the time because when you're traveling a convoy, your head's not above the gunner turret, you're not scanning your stuff, you're sitting down in your seat as you're moving. It took over me, and we got hit left side. Left side took out a chunk of the up armor where my head was. So if I was facing the other way, my head would have been gone. That big.
Was someone else sitting there?
Wait, when you said got hit?
I was, because I was facing the back side of the Humvee.
But you said the left side, the right side. You picked the right side.
Right side.
So you usually pick the left side.
Yeah.
Was someone else? Did someone else pick the left side?
No, only one guy can.
Only one guy.
I did. I made the decision myself.
But you're saying you got hit not by an IED. You got hit by an RPG because it took out a chunk?
IED.
Under the ground? Did that?
No, it was kind of like a safe charge.
Oh.
So safe charge.
Okay.
What do you mean?
So safe charges, they started getting slick with it during my time overseas, where they could shape the charge towards the Humvee.
Yeah.
So their problem was with the other times I was getting blown up, a couple times we were on patrol. So we're walking, boom, blown up. It went up, straightward, and up and out. So therefore, it wasn't spreading out and killing everybody. Gotcha. And they started getting aware of that. So one of the ones I was blown up with was Sergeant Colorado. I'll never forget this moment. It was we were walking too. It was the most crazy moment ever. Probably one of them for me, other than that one. So we're walking on patrol. We knew there was a bomb. We felt like there was a bomb in the road, something like that. We were searching for one. Boom, the shit goes off. Bro, Sergeant Colorado.
But wait, back up, just to back you up. You're searching for one. This guy, at least a guy in the front with a metal detector on foot. How are you searching for IDs?
So we do it's called like the, all right, so remember the Mighty Ducks, the Flying V?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Opposite of the Flying V. So it's a Flying V in reverse.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty much. So it's like, you're not going out like that. You're going out like, not not going like so the flying V's like that.
Not the point you're going with the outways.
This way because you're looking for the depth wire out there, so nobody gets blown up on the road.
So you leave the center of the road is the last thing approached by the guy in the center.
Exactly,
Okay,
because you want to find the deck cord. Right. There's obviously a spotter or something out there.
Now, the deck cord is always something will be showing you.
Well, usually,
normally when I was there, yes.
Okay. So usually someone sets it off. It's not even like automatic.
There's someone always in the distance with a remote det or some type of det that you could spot. At the time I was there, that's 05 to 06. Mm-hmm. That all changed like throughout the years. You know what I mean? So we're spreading out, we're searching, I don't know. I had that vibe again. There's always this vibe inside of me. It's like I can't explain it. I think it was like my mom. Like that's what I think of. That's always what I think of. I always go back to that. She made me religious. I always think of that, and I survived. So felt it. Boom! The shit goes off. It blows straight the fuck up though, and sort of Colorado was, bro, from me to you, man. On top of that, he was right there. The IED, boom, right up. I was right next to him.
Oh, it blew him up.
No, no, I thought so.
Oh,
so we were just covered in smoke. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I said, call the rail. I was calling him out. I see him on the ground. And I'm like, oh my gosh, bro, he's on the ground. I'm checking him. I'm calling him medic because we always got a doc with us. Doc Edwards. Fucking call him Doc Steely Eyes. He's a fucking man, bro. He never froze up in combat. Always there. Always on top of his shit. Fucking love the guy. So he was right there checking him out. Nothing, bro.
Really?
None of us.
Now, when you say nothing, and you're that close, at the very least,
shrapnel,
not shrapnel, but at the very least, you got to be dazed and stunned because the concussion.
See, we didn't even think about that.
The concussion.
We didn't know about
has
that.
to. They say it sucks the air out of your lungs if you're that close.
Right.
Your hearing has to go, so you have to be hearing nothing but just a wing. You know what I mean? Like
Rory said that actually. It sucks the air of your lungs. What does that mean? Like, does it literally take the oxygen away from you?
Yeah.
If you're that close.
So is it like getting hit like hit with a body shot where you're like,
yeah,
can't breathe?
Kind of like that, but throughout your whole body. And you're right though, but we didn't know what that was though.
Okay.
We didn't know what that feeling was.
So you're considered uninjured almost if you can get up and be mobile.
100%. We thought we all are injured.
Even if you can't hear.
I couldn't even walk for a couple of days after that. Like my whole equilibrium was off. Right. And there were several times I was out. I don't remember being out. My boy's like, yo, you're probably out, bro. But with that being said, I'm like, I couldn't stand still. My whole balance was off. Everything was off, man, for days. And nobody knew what that was, though. Yeah. Nobody knew that was a cause of TBI and all this other shit.
05, 06.
Yeah. It was all new.
Now, did you ever get like wounds, like open wounds from any of your...
Surprisingly, no, man.
Wow.
That's why I think my blessing was.
Yeah.
So
even around like your uncircumcised dick, you could clean that over there properly.
Nice. I circumcised that shit.
Because you're supposed to clean the wrinkles.
Circumcised, but I've seen plenty without.
You're supposed to clean the wrinkles, right? With like,
I mean, yeah, they do. They pull it back.
He says
his
helmet's showing.
I've seen plenty of dudes in the military with uncircumcised fucking torpedoes.
What surprised me about Rory, his story, was that the amount of muck, mire, and water that they trudge through. You don't think of that when you think of
disgusting.
What in the desert?
You think desert. You think you guys are
disgusting. Canals.
Yeah. And he said most of it was man-made for irrigation purposes.
And it was shit in there.
And it's low, right? It's the low point, so there's a lot of trekking through it to stay, down from cover fire, basically, right? So
hey, I'm not going to ask you this question, and I wouldn't ask Rory this, but is this an inappropriate question to ask?
Oh, you can ask me anything.
I know, but you're my boy, so it's
that's
what
I'm talking about.
You're different, but I'm saying, is it inappropriate to ask you if you kill someone over there?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah,
so some people don't like that, and it's like it's kind of but everybody mentions that. Everybody.
That's like a sick fucking.
So you
thing
think about like a
right?
combat MOS, you probably most likely did some crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, I think people are just drawn to go to the most extreme. Like what's the craziest shit? So what is the most extreme anybody could possibly do? Right, to kill another human being. So that's but it does take a big set of balls to ask that question.
Did you ever hear that guy? He was on Rogan's podcast. I can't recall his name, but he's talking about where he killed the guy with the rock. It was like him. It was either like he was gonna kill.
Love Rogan.
Why would the Rock be over there? Wouldn't he be doing movies?
Stop.
No, but he literally, I guess, I was like we're out of bullets, hand-to-hand combat. It was either him or Him or the other guy?
Reminds me of Saving Private
And I
Ryan,
think he
when the guys are fighting in the turret.
yeah.
And they're shooting, they run out of ammo, and then they go to the knives, and then they're hand-to-hand combat.
Well, this guy he said he took a rock, and he said in the guy's face, you could see the guy knew, like, I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
And obviously.
So by any means necessary.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty
at
much.
that point, him or you, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
So we're taught that hand-to-hand combat. It's close quarter combat. That's what it's called. I used to actually teach that, military combat tactics, by Navy Seabees in Port Hueneme, California. I used to teach that with a bunch of like Navy SEALs.
I remember when you went out there, man.
Yeah,
You were missed. I hoped you came back, and you did.
We were training together at the time.
Oh, really?
Remember that?
Yeah.
Bro.
You were pumped. You were pumped to take that job.
I was, because it's a good job, bro. You wanna.
Helping out, you're preparing your buddies. Yeah.
You've been through so many raids in life. You could definitely help out the next person that's going to go and experience that. And like, a lot of people like to rush shit. So our biggest thing with raids is slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
I like that.
I got you.
Bro,
You don't operate that way in Seaside, though, pal. I'll tell you that.
but that's the truth, though. It's
I've
like,
been out with you.
yeah, no. 0 to 100. Where's Jesse? Nobody knows. But yeah, that's the way I operate, and that's the way I want to teach, because most people like to go balls to the wall. They like to go into a raid, and you see it all the time, especially teaching it. I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. Was I like that as a fucking newbie? I wasn't. I don't think so in my head, because I always put that in my head. It's slow, smooth, fast. It's the truth. It comes with a lot of things in life, even with skydiving.
Yeah.
The same thing. Slow your thought process down, and kind of more of a flow state of mind.
Well, again, we're going to bounce around a lot because that's how we operate. But slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Is that it? So you had a bad opening on a parachute jump. You said it. Did that play in? Does time slow down? So if you guys don't know what a bad opening is, right? He jumps a lot. I think he's probably creeping up on 500 jumps or something like that.
Close
He's
to that. Yep.
relatively new. He's only been doing it a few years, but he jumps a lot. And a bad chute opening is when your chute doesn't completely opening. And he has a GoPro video of it. And honestly, I've jumped before. I've only done tandem jumps, and it's a little nerve-wracking to jump. Frankie's jumped as well, but I cannot imagine that happening to you. Does time slow down when that happens?
100%.
It does. Yeah.
Every time I did a raid, I look back on it. Time was in like it slows down. It 100% slows down. And I thought I was going to be so much more worried than I was when, maybe I could have fixed a whole malfunction or whatever, but my warning beeper went off. I was set at 2,000 grand. So 2,000 feet, you're supposed to make a decision by that altitude, whether you're going to chop away, you're going to continue to try to fix it. I wasn't getting out of it. The line twist was so heavy, and I thought I had a line over too. I wasn't sure. So I made the right decision in my head. I cut away. But it's
a scary video. If you guys follow, shout out your Instagram page. He's
Jesse Holt 7.
It's on your Instagram page, right? Yeah.
No, it's on yours.
Oh, is it on?
You're the only one that posted it.
Oh, really? Okay.
I didn't post it because I didn't want the skydivers like, bro, you could have fixed that.
I'll put it right on the spot every fucking time. I don't care.
But I didn't care. He's like, you mind if I post it? I'm like, nah, go ahead, post it, bro.
I post a lot of videos of Jesse, mostly when he's drunk because he's hysterical. But that video impressed me so much because, obviously he's falling at 100+ miles an hour. You can't hear, what he's saying, or even if he is, or but it just looks so smooth. It looks so effortless. It looks so smooth. It's what it looked like on the video. I don't know if it was.
No, it was.
You didn't look like you panicked at all.
So that's the key thing in life, not to panic.
Yeah.
Even when we do raids and stuff like that, it's like completely focused. It's almost like now everybody talks about this flow state. It's almost that state of mind, like you're in just a flow state, or you're trusting a higher power, or whatever the case may be.
I hear that a lot. I've heard you use it. Explain that, guys. Flow state. What is that?
Go ahead.
Well, no. I had a thought. Somebody just said thought like, but that's life or death situations. Like you in a raid and you at where your fucking chutes tangled up. That's life or death. That shit's slowing down. Like flow state for me is not life or death. You know what I mean? So that's a little different.
Flow state applies to what though?
No, flow state is like when you're in the zone.
Okay,
that's flow state.
Okay,
right?
Yeah,
kind of like when you're in the zone. When like for if I was wrestling or fighting, it's like you can't do wrong. Like everything's reacting right. You're reactive, but You're not thinking about it. You're just it's just happening.
Gotcha.
You're not thinking of it. You're in that flow state. It's like a subconscious reaction to everything.
You know what?
That's what I get.
No, but you're right though. So they call that you're shutting down your frontal lobe. So your frontal lobe, or your thought. You know what I mean? Like
that's what they say, at least, right?
But when you're fighting, it's the same scenario of these life and death situations. Think about that.
Yeah,
someone else is in a fight. It's normal for you. It's not normal for everybody else, bro.
Yeah,
it's not normal.
No, I get it. I get it.
People
but
lock the fuck up.
In the real back of my mind, I'm not gonna die.
True.
I don't. At least, I mean, obviously, boxers do die. I don't think maybe an MMA guy here or there has died, but really, no one's died, right? But fuck, in raids in Iraq,
true.
How many people died? In fucking skydiving, how many people died? That's a little more real.
I agree with you, but it's the same.
But I get what you're
principle,
saying.
though.
Yeah.
It's honestly.
No, it is because I mean, for me, it's like there's dire consequences. If I mess up, I have a dire consequence. Maybe
100%.
it's not death, but it could be a broken nose or a loss.
As you guys explain that, for me sitting here, who hasn't done neither, I didn't serve and I'm not a fighter, I understand his explanation of flow state.
Yeah, but you were also a crazy motherfucker that really street bikes out of the ass.
Exactly.
Come on,
Look
bro.
at these fucking ears, though.
Come on, man.
Look at these things.
No, but yeah, seriously,
Your shoulder.
You've probably have more injuries than I had.
For real.
I think I broke like 13 bones in my life. But
yeah.
I can see what you're talking about with flow state because it's just you in there. It's you and one other guy.
No, honestly,
you fall back on you. He's got to rely on a whole nother fucking team when he's kicking in the door.
How about you? Okay.
If he's in a flow state, it doesn't matter if a guy doesn't have his six.
Yeah, but it does. For at least for like what he could do.
Your whole team needs to be in a flow state.
Yeah, they do, but he can't
Yeah.
control. He can't control them. If
Right,
he's in a flow
right.
state for himself, that's just going to be better for him at least. You know?
True.
But I'd imagine you'd have to be in a flow state. You know what a flow state is when you're fucking riding a fucking 12 o'clock wheelie
completely in the zone, bro.
But again, maybe. But the crazy thing about he's talking about stunning motorcycles, which was a passion of mine. I loved it. I'm too old for it now. But
you're a beast.
Did it for a bunch of years. I was decent at it, but honestly, it never came naturally to me. I worked at that shit, man.
Yeah, but
there's guys that it just comes natural to, and they're probably in a flow state. I worked hard. I put in a lot of fucking time, a lot of effort. And then when guys mastered circle wheelies, that's where I was like, all right, the guys are back when it was the street bike days, and you could get on the parkway and just do a 2-mile wheelie and throw knack-knacks and cans and high chairs and. It was back in the engine brake days before it was really the handbrake had been dialed in. I was pretty damn good back then. But then when guys figured out, well, hey, listen, I'm gonna lose my license. I'm gonna go to jail. Let me find a little parking lot. That's where the game kind of surpassed me because, handbraking and it was a lot more. The learning curve was a lot harder, I think. Degree of injury was a lot lower. You weren't gonna fucking
moving as fast.
You weren't moving as fast, but.
I think you would have adapted to it.
Maybe if I put more time in. But
bro, you were a beast, bro. I looked up to you actually because I didn't ride like that. I could do wheelies, basic endo, stuff like that. But my crew never rode like that. And then I ran into you, literally right after the military. I'm like, bro, this kid kills it.
Well, I was clearly not in a flow state when I was trying to fucking show off in front of you because I ate shit hard that time. I was doing pretty well up until that happened.
No, dude, you were rocking, dude. We were from Jackson to Tom's River. You were riding a wheelie, literally.
He don't stop.
That was back in the day. I loved it though. I spent so much money on street bikes. Lou knows. I rode all the time with Lou. Lou had a bike
Lou rides. He rides, bro.
It was a passion for sure. It just unfortunately there was never really any money to be made at that because it never really hit mainstream. Corporate sponsorships didn't come in for a couple guys, but it was mostly underground riding. Back when the Star Boys, the Wheelie Boys, all the old school guys, it never really hit like mainstream arenas. It kind of lacked just a little bit of the appeal of like Moto X or stuff like that. Guys are jumping 40 feet in the air and pulling backflips.
True.
It's a little more appealing to the eye than a guy, doing a high chair wheelie or something. So it just never quite hit mainstream. If it had, maybe I would have stuck with it. But, I would do shows in Lakeland, Florida. I would go to Lakeland, Florida and do Stunt Wars, and I was a shitty rider for the guys that were down there, but I would go, and if you won the whole thing, you'd win $1,000. It cost you $3,000 to get down there and stay.
Fuck yeah.
It's more for the experience.
Yeah.
Right? So, all right, when you say you were part of Airborne, that's the name of your.
Yep.
Now, does that mean what's Airborne? I mean you've.
So 101st Airborne.
Legendary.
Yeah, legendary.
But what does that mean? Does that mean Airborne? Do you jump out of planes?
So yeah, all right. So I did do the whole Airborne route. So 101st Airborne actually transitioned to an air assault unit. So what an air assault unit is now, when I was talking about Blackhawks and stuff like that, we're repelling out of helicopters. We did a lot of fast roping for training, but that got excluded because a couple people lost their lives from fast roping on rooftops overseas. So then we started doing.
Explain that because nobody knows what that is. I'm
Fast
assuming that
roping
means
is like
rappelling quickly from a helicopter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Instead of the helicopter landing down,
You hook your leg and you.
Yeah, I mean, you just grab
yeah.
onto the rope, grab both of the lines with your legs, and just slide down.
If anybody watches,
Nothing was
and
hooked
I'm
on.
not making fun. I'm being serious. If anybody watches CrossFit, that's how when they climb the 40 feet,
Yep.
that's how they get
They
down.
slide
They
down.
literally fast rappel. It's the same idea, concept, right?
Pretty much onto a rooftop, and what I was told is a couple of SF guys, special forces guys, lost their lives due to that. So we stopped doing that, and we started landing outside of the zone that we're gonna raid. So
and then hike into it.
yeah, and then hike right into it, or pull outer quarter. We pull outer cordons around the area
Perimeter.
operation. Yep, and then we push in instead of landing on rooftops, which we used to do, but we didn't do that anymore.
Gotcha.
Kind of phased out of that.
Gotcha.
So we went from an airborne unit to an air assault unit.
Did you ever skydive in the military? Did they do that in the military?
No, it was just airborne school was static line.
Static
so
line.
it's-
That's what my dad was. Static line. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all like your chute opens up right away.
Is it to this day in
now-
the modern military? Is it still static line if you're airborne?
I think so, bro.
'Cause
Now-
it's
now-
kind of dummy proof, right? Like you can't
Think
fuck it up.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Now the
people-
static line, like I know, like I skydived once 20 fucking years ago, literally 20 years ago now.
Yeah, I
It's
love this
crazy.
story, bro.
But
Steve Rivera.
yeah,
again.
yeah. But yeah, with the static line, is you at 30,000 feet when you?
30,000.
no.
But don't you jump at 30,000 feet? You
Whoa.
jump at 30,000?
Oh, no.
No, no.
Freeze to death.
Like 13.5.
Oh, 13.5. Okay.
Like
30,000 is like Mount Everest.
Yeah,
bro.
no, 30 is like how you like commercial
Right,
airliners
you freeze
fly.
to death. Yeah,
Right?
if you
Yeah,
jump
yeah,
out,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, so-
Although, didn't that guy back in the 70s that stole all that money? Didn't he jump out at fucking?
I heard.
Didn't he jump out at like 30,000 feet? And
I
they're
heard
pretty
that.
sure he lived. I can't think of his
I heard
name,
about
but
that. Yeah. Can I take a piss?
yeah, go ahead.
Can I,
man.
yo?
Yeah, go.
I have to. I have
Go
to.
for it. So,
Sorry.
no
Yeah,
problem.
there's a story, Frankie, about a guy. It's in the 70s. He robbed a bank, I believe, got on a commercial airliner, and demanded it. I think, if I have the story right, people are going to jump all over me on YouTube, but demanded it that it take off and land somewhere, and he knew he was going to get caught right that way. So he had a fucking parachute. He had this all planned out, and at 30,000 feet or so, he jumps. And to this day, they've still never found all the money. They still never found him. So, a lot of people thought that he perished, but they find traces of the money. They found it in the beach. They found like a bunch of money in a beach somewhere.
What do you mean, like he spent it, or
They don't
or
know if he
just
buried
fucking-
some of it because
Yeah.
it was never like all found in one combined thing,
yeah.
or if the backpack open. They don't know. It's a big, huge mystery. There's a documentary about it, I believe. But yeah, nobody would jump at 30,000 feet because you take a real risk of the oxygen
Okay,
being
yeah, I just don't know
so
what I was
thin,
thinking.
yeah.
I know you have to pull at 2,000 feet.
30,000 feet is roughly the height of
I
Mount
think,
Everest, and most people hike Mount Everest with an oxygen pack. Some people do it without, but
Yeah.
so you need oxygen up that high,
Yeah, right. Well, I do have a skydiving story.
Yeah, I want to hear it. You wanna wait for
2000
Jesse?
year 2000. He's heard it before because I told him. I was 17 actually.
I know the story, but it's a
went
good one.
with,
Tell
I
the
went
fans,
with
yeah.
Steve Rivera. I'm gonna incriminate his ass. I guess we're past the
Statute of limitations.
statute of limitations. But he was only in his 20s, I think, or late 20s. But
Jesse, you want a drink, pal? You want to loosen up? You want a drink?
I'll have one over
Oh, you got one. Okay.
so I'll make it quick now. Jesse's back. I ended up using a fake ID to go.
Oh, yeah.
It was my cousin's ID. I had a fake ID at the time, 17. I go, and I didn't want to go tandem. All right, I had fucking big balls when I was 17. Not so much now. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, I don't know this fucking guy. What if he's having a bad day and he wants to take me with him? So I thought, let me do the class and I'll jump by myself. So I did the whole class. It's like a 6-hour class or 4-hour class. Steve's jumping the whole day. We were staying the next day anyway. We were going to stay overnight and stay the next day. So we finished the class, and I passed all the tests, did all the practices and whatnot. And it was just really windy out. So they were like, listen, you can't jump. The only way you could jump is if you want to do a tandem. I'm like, dude, I didn't just sit through fucking 6 hours of class and jump tandem. I was like, I'll wait till tomorrow morning. They said, you got to wait till tomorrow. I'll wait till tomorrow morning. He's like, all right. So that night, I went out with Steve and a bunch of people from the drop zone. Probably some people you know now.
Bro, 100%.
I could have sworn it was like,
Steve's a legend.
I
at the drop
could have sworn it was
zone.
one of the guys.
He's a legend.
So now I'm 17, but again, I have a fake ID since I'm 21. So I'm at the bar with these guys. We're drinking, fucking pounding drinks and whatnot. I'm getting pretty toasty. And all of a sudden, one of the guys is like, all right, let's go. We're going. Come on. We got to go back. So, like, I'm fucking like, what? What's going on? I rush the car. I'm like, dude, where the fuck is Steve? It's like, we left Steve here. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, fuck him. I'll have to get a ride. I'm like, what the fuck? So I end up in the drop zone. I'm in some fucking RV. They're fucking passing a bowl around, right? And fucking, I'll never forget one guy's fucking, they're passing the bowl. I was like, why drink and drive when you can smoke and fly? I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
So
But
wait, there was a point in time where you could just take like a class and jump by yourself.
Yeah, you had to pay money.
You can still do that.
You still can do that? Really?
No, I don't think so. I think you have to go tandem your first time.
No, there's still
yeah?
certain drop zones that were honored. It's called
really?
AFF.
Wow, yeah. But I'm essentially doing the first step of the certification. So my cousin has step 1 of the certification. You know what I mean?
Shit.
And
Why don't we do that? We did our first jump together. But anyway, go ahead.
So I went that morning. We go to jump, and I go out. I'm up in the thing.
Yeah.
Fucking Steve's on the plane with me, and I'm dude. Like I said, I just was like, yo, I'm fucking good, man. I was like, I got this. I had such a sense of false confidence. You know what I mean? And I jump out, and like the guy, I have piping on my suit, right? So the piping, they can hold on. So they're holding on to me. They jump out with me, 2 guys. Yep. I'm not attached to them though, right? And the guy's giving me hand signals. I forget what they were. And the hand signals are stuff I'm supposed to do. Yeah.
I'll fuck you later.
Bro, for real.
In the back and drop zone. I'm gonna fuck you.
So listen, the hand signals like check your altimeter, check your fucking rear arch, blah blah blah. So I'm doing all signals, and all of a sudden Steve comes flying up on me. He has the camera, and I'm just like, ah! And I totally forgot everything.
Because Steve was there.
Yeah, because Steve was there. I'm just fucking seeing the camera. I'm just like, yeah, right. Fucking this guy's giving me the pull sign, which like I fucking not even paying attention to him.
That's a major sign. That's probably the most important sign you need to know.
Yeah, the pull sign. This is the pull sign. That's like fucking pull. And I'm not even paying attention. He takes my hand, puts it on the thing. It fucking shit opens up. Silence. Right? How loud is it?
It's
so loud.
so violent, and then it goes
so
to
loud, then just
the calmest of calms.
And I was like, oh, thank God. Yeah. But dude, people don't realize that's not it. You have to fly your fucking parachute.
Yeah.
You have to fly your parachute.
That's the craziest fucking part, bro.
That's the hardest part, probably,
you
right?
free fall for less than a minute, right? And then you fly down.
And they say about a
for
minute, right? Yeah.
Like I think
several minutes.
7, 8 minutes.
Depends on your canopy size, but several minutes, man.
So I'm going down, and there's a guy on my like a
walkie.
Yeah, like a walkie-talkie, and he's like, flare now. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking high up. But I'm coachable, baby. I listen. So I flared. I'm fucking 10 feet in the air. I'm like, oh, boom. I did like a Grammy roll.
Yeah.
A PFL, parachute, or PLF, parachute landing fall.
Yeah.
Dude, the guy's like, man, you flared a little early. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm fucking listening to this guy on the mic, bro. What do you want?
You're telling me to flare, I'm flaring.
I was supposed to hold the pin, like the cord. I fucking dropped it. The guy's like reviewing my shit. He's like, well, it didn't go as standard, but you made it. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
You're alive.
Bro, but that's an epic story for your first time, because I get it. I get it, because you're there that day, you took the class. You want to fucking jump, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I did not want. I just wanted to do it myself.
First time we ever jumped. Actually, I jumped one. My first jump ever. I proposed to my wife. That worked out great. But anyway, my second jump. my second.
Where at? Skydive Cross Keys.
Yeah, Cross Keys.
That's my local DZ.
But Jesse had been hitting me up. He was like, "Dude, I want to go skydiving." I was like, "Oh, I've been once. Let's do it again." It was fun. Let's go. So there was a closer place in Wall that did it. We didn't realize. We just thought he was a total amateur at the time. I'm still an amateur.
That was my first one.
We thought every skydive place was the same. They're not. So we go to the place in Wall. We don't call ahead. We don't book it. We don't do it online. Nothing. We just fucking show up. It's you, me, Adam Emmons, right?
Yep.
And we get there and we sign up, and it was a beautiful day. They're like, "Oh man, we're fucking busy today. We got 2 planes flying. They got these little Cessnas, like nothing like they got at the drop zone, right?" And they're like, we'll get you in though. We'll get you in at the end of the day. Go get something to eat, and then come back at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I think they said. Yeah. So we go to the patio bar. We start pounding drinks, start fucking eating some food or whatever. We're all pumped. We're like, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna get my guy to barrel roll out. We're like pumped, right? Adam had never jumped before. I had one jump, right? So we're getting tuned up. We go back at 4. One of the planes is broken. So now they only have one plane. So now we're bumped all the way back and we can't jump. So they're like, come back at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll get you guys in. Kind of like your story. So we're like, all right, fuck it. We're kind of pissed, but we're like, all right, fuck it. Jesse's like, right there, day one, we hadn't even jumped yet. He's like, bro, let's sign up. They do classes here. Let's sign up and become like professional, skydivers. And I'm like, you're getting a little ahead of yourself, bro. Let's fucking jump first, right? But we're all pumped to jump, the three of us together, right? The next morning we show up, 8:00 in the morning. We're fucking super gung-ho. We're not as drunk as we were the night before, but we're super gung-ho. We're first ones on. They can't fit us all on the fucking plane because it's so small.
Wow. Why though? Why?
It's Roger 6'4".
That's why.
So somebody has to draw the short straw. Adam volunteers.
Adam's we did rock, paper, scissors,
Did
bro.
we do rock, paper, scissors?
We did rock, paper, scissors, Adam.
Adam's like...
Because it wasn't you, because you're a big guy.
I couldn't fit, basically, so... and I got this little guy on my back. What do you weigh? Like $170? I'm 240 pounds. Like this.
Wait. They're on your back?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you fly. Yeah, they
a lot.
So they're nut to your butt.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. So, that's why I didn't want to do fucking tandem.
So
I'm with you.
First,
I did it too.
First jump over there. We're in the fucking thing together. We get up. And they only can go, it's based on aircraft size, right? They could only go to 10,000 feet.
So then
cross crees, bigger planes, they go to 14,000, right? So you get an extra 4,000 feet if you go to cross keys.
And that's a lot, though. You think about it in reality, that's a lot, man.
And you're paying the same. You're paying the same money. You might as well get the other extra 4,000. So anyway, we get up there, standard. I don't have to tell you guys, you've jumped, but yeah, they stick me out of this little... I feel like I'm as big as the plane. They got me hanging out the fucking thing, spotting the landing. Finally, they jumped. It was a cool jump. Adam went up after us. We watched him come down. We got some cool videos. But the seed was planted with this guy.
He was like,
I'm going to do this. He tried talking me into doing it. I was like, this is going to be one of these things. He ain't going to fucking do it. He's going to talk about it. Bro, like right there, he just started taking classes.
Yeah, Steve was heavy into it, man.
Steve was a legend.
Yeah. He had like 1,000 jumps, I think.
No, but not a lot of people know about Steve Rivera. He was a part of like Monkey Claws, which is a skydive group out of Skydive Cross Keys that were sponsored at the time.
Yeah,
they were sick flyers.
Yeah,
Bert was a part of them, which I found out. I skydived with Bert. Bert's one of his old school buddies, and I found out that they were best friends.
Oh, really?
And they were sponsored together. What a small.
Steve said too. Like back in the day, you used to be able to. The planes were moving. Boom, boom. You get a bunch of jumps. Like now they can't jump as many times, right? Yeah.
Not like that. I mean,
There's a little more regulations on it.
More regulations, but they're still jumping like that.
Yeah.
It's just we didn't know this world existed when we went. It was more of a tandem factory. It's called
where in Wall.
That place is closed now. It's not even open anymore.
It's not even open anymore.
People died, right? I think.
I don't know if I don't know
what
happened. That was a busy airport to be jumping at too. There's a lot of planes out of there.
Cross
Crees is mostly just privately owned and skydivers, right? It's not a commercial airport, is it?
For the most part, it's right 30 minutes outside of Philly.
It sees a lot of commercial? I never see commercial aircraft there.
It does. You will.
Do you really?
Will see jets flying above sometimes. It's a little sketchy.
Anyway, to go back to what you were saying, that you only wanted to jump by yourself. You did not want to be, because that guy is responsible for your life.
Just never know.
That happened, bro. There's a story. New Hampshire. I think it was New Hampshire. I sent you the article, remember?
You did.
There was a guy, an instructor, right, that wanted to commit suicide.
Story.
I don't know if he decided it on the way down or what, but he's tandem jump. He's with a dude. They go up. They jump out. He fucking pulls a chute and then releases himself from the guy.
But the guy lived.
The other guy
did.
Because
I'd be cool with that. I mean, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be part of that. But I'm saying, at least they ain't taking me with him.
But he had no idea. He had no idea how to like fucking steer it and shit. He lived. He didn't fucking hit power lines or anything. But the instructor, can you imagine?
Dude, but if you
imagine being
think
like,
about it, if you could definitely kill yourself flying that thing.
Yeah, bro.
Flying to power lines or something like that. Yeah.
Landing in trees wherever.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the guy released himself. Can you imagine? Like, bro, what are you doing? You tightening shit? What the fuck? The guy's gone.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. That would be crazy, bro.
Come back.
I don't know how I'd feel about that.
I don't know, man.
Listen,
but why
I'd
go
feel,
out that
I'd feel
way?
good that he didn't.
He
take
survived
me with
though,
him.
the other guy, right? 100%.
The tandem guy,
Yeah,
not the
he did?
instructor.
Yeah.
The instructor was a lawn dart. He didn't survive.
I've heard there's been some people on that drop zone that actually their parachute didn't open up, or maybe only one cell opened up, and they actually fucking lived.
Yeah, I mean, there's been plenty of stories like that in my life. I think that's just a miracle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I believe in. Like I
crystals,
said, I've been in miracles.
Crystals, bro.
I believe in them.
They must have some crystals.
Yeah.
I got my crystal.
Desi got a crystal in his pocket right now, and even though we're in Tom's River, it ain't crystal meth.
Hey, I really got a crystal in my pocket always. I do pack.
You
my own
have to
chute.
pack your own chute. Am I
So
right?
what? Yeah,
That's something like
no, you
Steve.
don't.
No,
You
I
don't.
know. But
You
no,
pay
but
for
this-
packers.
I know, but this is something Steve told me. I remember.
Okay.
I remember back in the day that he fucking because he's never had a chute to fail on him. He never had a chute because he packs
'Cause
it.
he packs
He's
it.
systematic. He doesn't rush it. None of that.
Let's talk about that. And you and I did on the side a little bit when yours
This is real life.
didn't open correctly. It was a partial opening, correct?
Correct.
You packed your own chute. Do you take responsibility for packing it incorrectly, or
you think it was just a chance?
What do you think happened?
No, 100%, man.
Your fault.
So ready? I started getting better at my pack job. So I went from like 25 minutes to 20 minutes.
A lot of dudes around here saying that you're pretty good at packing shit.
Yeah, I'm a good packer. Why, you want something? What's up, bro? I'll pack your chute.
Your chute?
Yeah, literally. My poop chute.
Or shit. I don't know what you're saying, but whatever. But no, I was 25 to 20. I went down to like 15 minutes. I just saw my boys make fun of me. They're like, bro, you pack so fucking slow. I'm like, I got fucking OCD.
I'm alive,
I got OCD.
motherfucker.
No, I know, but they're like, you've been fucking jumping for a minute. Pack your shit. I'm like, all right, you're right. But I was doing 15 minutes. 15 minutes solid for a pack job. I did that shit in like 7 minutes that day. The one I sent you the video of.
Mm-hmm.
I did it 7 minutes just to get on the load. I shouldn't have done it. I knew it, but I did it, and I questioned myself the whole time because I had OCD, so I knew I forgot certain steps, or did I forget certain steps? I was thinking in my head, like overthinking. And I'm like, so I tracked away from the junk. Tracking away is like when you split apart from your partner.
Yeah.
So I was getting trained on like how to fly upside down, vertical, head down,
Ah, that's cool.
which is like 220 miles an hour. It's fucking gnarly
As
as
fast
fuck.
as you can go, right?
Yeah, man, it's fucking gnarly. But then I track away. I pitch. That's means pulling your parachute open. I pitch. Instant. I was spinning out of control. Like instant. You've seen the video.
See the video?
Yeah, you have it on your story. I mean your
Yeah.
Instagram. So I was spinning out of control. I'm trying to fight it. I'm trying to rip it apart. Doing all the proper procedures on how do you get out of that. I mean, I had a couple experienced skydivers tell me like, maybe if you wait a little bit longer, but my warning. So my warning altitude, I have it set at 2,000 grand, is my decision altitude of what I'm gonna do at that time.
They say you want to pull it no later than 2,000, all right?
Yeah, but I pulled it like 35 to 3,000 feet, and that's when I went into the crazy line twist. And I thought if you look at the video, it looked like a line over from there, and that's what I thought I was seeing at first. So I'm trying to get out. The thing was not fucking budging anywhere.
Yeah, and people that don't know anything about skydiving, you have to remember, he's not just falling straight line down trying to figure it out. This thing is whipping him. It's like being on the end of
It was crazy.
a rope, just getting swung around.
And I thought I was gonna be so much more freaked out, and I wasn't. I was so honestly calm, man. I was.
You think the training helped? All the exercise? And,
I don't know what
Personality,
it was.
training, combination
I
of
think it was
both.
a combination of everything.
Yeah.
But I thought for my first pool, I was gonna be freaked the fuck out because you don't want to do that. That's the last thing you want to do
Dude,
in
that's
life.
all I can remember.
That's your last.
Because, I mean, I don't know. When I did it, this was obviously 20 years ago. If they say if it comes out fucked up, you got to pull the release and then pull your extra. They're like, make sure you don't pull your extra before you pull your release because we'll get tangled up. I'm like, yo, what? They're fucking right here. They're both on each side of my chest. How the fuck am I gonna pull the right one? You know?
That's the fucking truth, though. I swear to God, that's the fucking truth. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're right, though. Because if you pull the wrong one and then go to the other one, you're gonna mess yourself up.
Right.
You're gonna pretty much
Tangle them up, bro.
tangle them up together in
Yeah.
a sense.
So you got to know right, left. You got to confidently pull.
So
because
right,
Yeah.
left. So I
Okay.
do that every time before I board the plane. That's my like I always do it. It's called like your safety.
what would happen if you pulled your reserve first?
It would get tangled into your one
Immediately.
that's there. Right?
Yep.
Because it's below it in the pack.
They don't have better technology though. Like,
Yeah, all right,
why
so-
can't
I know.
there just be?
Ready?
I'm sure there is.
No,
Now,
there
why,
is.
why don't they have just one? When I pull the fucking one, it detaches and then pulls the other one automatically.
So
Why-
there is. So I got the skyhook in mine. I have
Okay.
the best of the best. So I bought a vector rig with a skyhook on mine. So pretty much what I do is when I pull my reserve, the right side, that acts as my. I don't have to pull the other one technically. I don't have to. I do it because
It will release your other chute.
It will. So,
Okay. Your
so I
main.
use my main parachute
Okay.
as a release technique to pull out the reserve.
Okay.
So that's what happened. But I have it embedded in my head. I'm like, all right, I got this. It's chill. Boom, boom. That's what I did. You don't have to do that. And I threw the one, and I lost my fucking handles, and that's another no-no. Like, why would you throw your handles?
You're supposed to hold on to it.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
I was with you.
So now your chute is just free falling down. How far away from the drop zone does that thing end up?
Okay, so that's another story. So my boy Kevin that I was on the jump with, he spotted it he was training me how to do head down because he's a fucking beast. He was training me to fly head down, and like I'm not that good at it yet. And he's like, bro, I seen your parachute. It was 200 meters into the woods this way, and he gave me direct coordinates of it. And I'm ex-military, so I'm like, all right, well, he plotted out on the map. Boom, perfect.
Walked right to it.
Wow.
Perfect.
Now you had to climb a tree to get it?
Motherfucking perfect.
Really?
Yeah, but only like 15 feet high. It wasn't bad at all.
Shit.
But he spotted it.
Wow, dude. It's awesome.
Have you ever done the I don't know what you call it, but like the skydive, indoor skydive?
I do that. I was
Swear-
supposed to go to
that's
that.
where he's supposed- Tell him. Now let's see how honest Jesse. We'll see how much Jesse had to drink right now. This will be the test.
Let's go.
Why didn't you go today, Jesse?
I was nervous, man.
He was nervous about doing our podcast, so he wanted to prep.
Oh yeah.
Mind you, we've
Dude.
known this guy like 20 years. I don't know what there's to be nervous about.
I was.
Where have you done that?
It's more
What do they call
Frankie.
that? What do they call it? Wind tunnel, right? Wind
Yeah,
tunnel?
it's called iFly. I go to
King of Prussia.
Yeah, I train at King of Prussia mostly.
Is there one in Chelsea Pier in New York?
So no, I also go to Paramus, New Jersey.
Oh,
They
really?
open up one there,
Really?
and Westchester, which they're called the Rome Brothers. So they come out and train people, and they're the best in the sport, pretty much.
Is it the same?
It is the same,
It feels exactly the same.
and you will fuck yourself up in there. I promise you that. And I've seen people get knocked out in there, and I didn't think that was possible. It is. Think about that. So it's like a 13
Diameter?
radius around.
13 foot.
Yeah. So you got that around, and the wind speeds are turned up so high. I'm doing head down right now. So that's like maxed out wind speeds. Like
So, but is max out wind speeds what you would see in if you jumped out of a plane?
yes.
Okay.
So if you make one wrong move,
You out of control, right?
you're smashing.
Let's say for like me and Roger, we want to do it. We'd just be belly down.
belly flying. Yeah.
And we could fuck out.
And it's
fun
still,
with
but people
Looks
can't
like-
even do that.
Looks like you're prepping
People
right
can't
now.
even do that.
People can't do that.
Yeah, I am.
Looks
bro.
like he's
I
belly
am.
out.
I am.
He's prepping right now.
I am. I remember, bro. Listen, arch. I know how to arch, bro. I know how to arch.
Oh, you're wearing a half shirt right now, brother.
Yeah, bro.
But it's true though. It's the
I
arch.
can't let Jesse the only one show us that. It's
It's-
mid-drift.
But it is the arch though. It all comes out
Arch,
to
yeah.
that.
That's why, like, I knew I'd be good at that because it's fucking wrestling, bro. Arch.
It's very tough though for other people who are coming into the sport. They're like, I have people all the time like, how do you do that? I'm like, it's taking a lot of time, and I cancel my. I do camps because I want to learn.
Yeah,
I'm still
yeah.
trying to learn. I'm still
And,
trying
and
you go to-
going to those wind tunnels
You go
really
to
helps,
Florida
though,
a lot.
no?
I go to Florida a lot. So, let me tell you the first time I
Listen,
filmed though.
okay,
Right,
I just want.
right.
I have a question. So, like, when you skydive, it's like a minute free fall,
Yes.
give or take, right?
Yep.
How much time do you get in a wind tunnel?
Or whatever.
I know. Like,
Oh, so
what's the standard fee or standard time and fee?
So
Sorry.
I try to go, if I'm going all the way King of Prussia, I try to go at least 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
For the
And
guy.
you have to set that up prior to going?
Now, 10
Yeah,
minutes.
you
Is it
do.
10 minutes straight, or you go?
No, I try to do, 10 minutes straight, but it's like 2-minute increments.
Because
So
I mean, you're about to be dead in 10 minutes, fucking flying,
Yeah,
right?
but I'm so tense. I'm such a tense dude. And you corrected this. You try to correct this. So with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you're like, bro, quit being so tense.
Yeah,
You're so,
you gotta relax,
you're trying to
yeah.
like power shit too much.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same principle with skydiving.
You want to?
I'm trying to, I'm like,
Force.
my boy Frankie tried to tell me the same thing. It's like, quit being so intense. And
Yeah.
I'm still trying to work on that.
Yeah, hey. We all are.
I'm so tense, bro. I'm exhausted. I'm sweating when I get out of there. Like, why are you
I want to
sweating?
go. Let's go.
Let's go.
I wanna-
We'll
how
go
much is
together.
Expensive.
Listen,
Expensive. The
It's like
We-
$140 for 10 minutes.
Oh, dude, I'm in, bro.
We'll go.
I
We
thought it was
need-
fucking. Someone told me it was
I would
$1,000 for
love
an hour.
this.
So,
No,
guys,
no.
we've been talking about
Well, I guess
adding
hour.
more content
Yeah, but if you get
to
4 people,
our YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
100%.
We got to start making a list of shit we want to do. I also want to do that. I know this is going to sound fucking weird. Frankie's going to come out with all kinds of joke, but I want to do that Birch and what is it? The
Birch and Bear.
the Birch and Bear. I don't know. I don't know if the phone will even work in
What
there. It's
is
so hot in there.
that?
It's a Russian banya.
What is
Sauna.
It's hot, cold, hot, cold.
Banya's
You
a
go in,
sauna.
you,
Yeah.
you go in,
Let's
you go in the like 200-degree sauna,
dope.
right?
It's dope.
And then you
Let's
jump
go.
into
Bro,
like
sick.
an ice
Really
bath.
nice facility. They have the food. The food is
Yeah,
really
I want to
good
do
there,
that.
too.
But I
People
think,
bring. Honestly,
I
I've been
think
there. People bring scotch and shit.
but
They
we
can
need to
drink.
bring cameras to this shit and like document it so people can see
You
what
should.
the experience is like.
I don't know how they'll feel about cameras in there.
Yeah, well,
but-
maybe we can set up.
So
Off
I know
hour or something.
iFly would be cool about that.
They would,
They
okay.
actually love that.
Okay.
Because that's a
Can my
that's
my
like a,
250-pound
promote
ass
them.
fit in that tube?
I think
Oh,
it
yeah.
goes. I think it's only 250.
That's
I think the same limit as skydiving.
I had to pay extra to go skydiving last time we went. Remember?
What do you
Yeah,
weigh?
all right,
What do
so-
you weigh?
I'm like 250 on the button right now, but I was
Really?
like 248 when you and I
All right,
went.
well, listen, we gotta.
Yeah.
We'll cut you down a little
Yeah,
bit. And then
we'll
we'll
do a
go.
little diet training.
We'll
So
cut
let
you
me tell
down.
you-
I'll cut you down. We're
Let me
good.
tell you a little story about him. I was like, hi. So I had my best friend's wedding, and his skydiving thing was the next day. Then we're gonna go together. I'm like, oh, it was awesome. I'm like, oh, bro, I'm so hungover. I'm like, I manned up though. I met him there. We did it. This kid fell 160 miles an hour. That's not a normal
on
belly.
the belly.
So I'm not that good of a I'm okay as a belly flyer, but I don't know how to fall 160 miles an hour in a belly fly.
But okay, how does he fall faster than you?
He's a fucking brick.
Surface area.
No, it doesn't matter though.
Yes.
You've
You're
never
talking about,
listen.
You're talking about terminal velocity is what you're talking
I mean,
about.
I don't know. Do you ever see the science project where you take a brick and you take a penny and they fucking fall at the same rate?
I get what
Well,
you're
I
saying.
think-
Maybe surface area matters because of the wind. I can
Well,
see that. I can
think-
see that. But if you take a brick and you take a penny, the brick weighs fucking 10 times more than a penny. They're gonna
True.
fall the same way. We could do it right now.
Well,
we
but
could
it- but
fucking
it
we could
take-
do this.
but
we
it-
could do this right now.
It takes a certain amount of time to reach terminal velocity, correct?
I don't know.
And it depends on the angle of your flight. You can fly 250 miles an hour if you point your toes and fucking become a dart, right?
Right, so it's surface area.
yeah,
That's why you.
right.
But
So
but
I would
you,
say-
I would think you have more surface area than me, so I should be able to fall faster.
And there's
No?
two people though.
I don't
There's
know
also two
why I
people
was.
with him.
He could answer that. I don't know.
No,
why I
but
was
but
falling
it still
fast.
doesn't make sense to me.
when he exited, he was also bowled up. So bowled up means
You're faster.
Yeah, you're automatically faster.
Well, you also jumped after me, so you
Yeah,
had
so-
to play.
and I was new to this.
He was
This-
a camera guy. First camera jump ever. They let him go camera jump. He had to actually take a
I
class.
had to
to
take a
go.
course to do this for him.
Because you got to get close to the person.
Right, and he
That's
did.
why?
He did really well, but I had a head start on you because I jumped before you by like.
But you go head
2
down to catch
seconds.
him.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't do that yet.
okay,
So I'm
yeah,
learning
yeah,
all this
yeah,
to try to like. After him, I was kind of embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't keep up.
You
I
did
was-
though. You right in my face at one point, bro.
I know, but I got
and then
to
you
a
and then you were
stand.
like
I went-
drifting away.
Is this what he was complaining about your beard?
I'm like, bro, the beer. What the fuck, bro? I was like, what? But I'd go to a stand. I'd get to him, and then he would drop further. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't catch him. But after that, I'm like, I needed to learn. I never jump with tandems, so I did the whole course in order for me because I had 300 jumps, like a little bit above 300 jumps. I took a coach rating course to jump with him.
So we got to tell the funny part of that story too. So, my good friend April that moved down here from Maine. She's younger than me, but she lived with me for 7 years. Plutonic friends, known her since she was a little kid. She's younger than me.
Love
but
April.
Love April to death. But she got married. She married this great guy named Mike. She knew that I was going with Jesse, so she said, hey, can Mike come with you guys? I want to buy it for him for his birthday present. So I said, of course. I love Mike. Mike's a good dude. Of course. Why not? So April signed Mike up online to do the tandem jump. Mike's best friend Jesse also signed up, so it was like me and Jesse, and then Mike and his buddy Jesse, and we all rode down together. We get down there, you do the safety class, you go in, watch like an hour-long video or whatever it is, and you go in, you listen to the guys, whatever, and then you get on a scale. Actually, I might have that backwards. You might do the scale first, but I got on the scale and I was like 248. I was under 250, and I'm thinking, they'll have a little leniency. If you're 252, they don't give a fuck. Bro, if you're 250 and 1/10 a pound, you're fucking out.
Wow.
You're out. Like, I don't know if they'll let
Do
you.
some wrestling drills.
I don't know if they'll let
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Start running, bitch.
Yeah. You could probably strip down to like your underwear and see what you're at. But Mike steps on the scale, and mind you, April paid for this. He's already signed up. It's already paid for. He steps on the scale and he's like, what, 257?
Damn.
He's like 7 pounds over. And he's like, no big deal, right? They're like, no, you
Is
can't
he
jump.
big like you?
He's a little heavier set than me, shorter,
Okay.
a little heavier set. Got a little bit of a belly, but he's not a bag of shit or anything. But the lady is like, can't jump, and he's like, oh, come on, I'm 250. I think he might have even taken his sweatshirt off, and he was like 255. She's like, no, I'm sorry, man. Insurance purposes, we can't let you do it, right? She's like, you can.
Reasons?
She says we had a wrestler come here once that was like 258. He literally put a garbage bag over him and ran around the parking lot for like 2 hours, and he lost 8 pounds. And Mike's like, yeah, fuck you, I'm not doing that. So Mike was pissed, bro.
It's all water weight. It's all water weight anyway.
He sat in the back and watched us jump, and Mike is like the most calm, collective, easygoing guy ever. Bro, he didn't say a word the whole ride back. He's because April put in 250 pounds on the computer, and he was like 258.
Ah, man.
So he was heated, boy. He didn't know. There was a weight limit, you know?
It's good to be little, bro. It's good to be little. Fuck all you big guys.
Beyond heated. Beyond
But he
heated.
didn't speak. He just wouldn't talk. He wouldn't even talk.
These guys are all pumped. It's the first time.
He's probably hungry.
No.
Fucking around. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm joking.
And all I remember is I got a text from April that said, "How the fuck did your fat ass make it on that?" And I was like, "You fucker."
Yeah, 248. What's up?
Dude, well, listen.
I made sure you were.
You're gonna diet for a couple of days, and we're gonna go do that.
Yeah, I'm down. I think honestly, if I was in my underwear, I'd be under 250 right now. So
well, let's not.
I weighed myself.
You don't look bad in your underwear. You don't look bad in your underwear. Yeah, all right. We lived together for a little bit.
I got a little more belly than I used to.
So Jess, what gave you the idea to introduce this to combat veterans and stuff?
Yes.
So true story.
Great question.
All right. So great. Yeah, definitely great question. So like I said, my mother. So yeah, this is. Let me just introduce this real quick. I want this to go on the wall.
I love it, man. I love it when guests bring gifts.
Team
that's a dope
Fight
one.
for Flight. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
with the American flag.
The bigger part of that is the American flag behind it, which is dope.
I felt you guys needed that in the room.
Yep.
It's
a part.
I like it.
It's a growing. Like I said, this just sorted, man.
I think it's a great idea. I mean,
what was your question before that, though?
No, what gave you this idea? Obviously you became passionate about skydiving. What made you say, "Hey, I want to take some combat veterans skydiving"?
So okay, so this all revolved around, like, I would say, Roger, my family, and other close friends. The way it impacted my life, they're like, "Bro, what are you doing? You need to incorporate that some way, somehow." Into like your lifestyle.
Can I back up and I think this is important to talk about, and you shut this down if you want.
Go for it.
But I think it's important to talk about because it's such an issue in our world today, in America today, but especially in the community we live in today.
I'm open to everything.
You battled, and I want to talk about where it comes from, but you had a little bit of a prescription pill issue for a while.
100%.
And we did a bit of an intervention with you, and you.
I'm glad you brought that up. Actually,
you rebounded.
I'm willing to talk about that,
bro. You rebounded like I have never seen anybody come back from that and have a better success story than you. And I feel like this is your fucking drug now. I do. I feel like this is your drug.
This is my drug.
Yeah, I do.
Honestly is, and like I'm mad I didn't bring that up at first, but but this is a big part of my life.
I want to know what took you down that road. If you'll get that personal, what
I will.
Took you down that road?
All right, so as soon as when I got out of the, all right, not even before I got out of the military. When I was in the military, I was getting.
And to stop you real quick, because I think this may help people. We all know people affected by drugs, and it's a real epidemic in our area. Would you agree with that, Frankie?
100%.
Not necessarily the drug of choice that most people are on today in this area is not the drug that you were on. You were taking prescription pills. A lot of people in our area are addicted to heroin.
But it started.
But a drug is a drug.
Starts with that.
It probably started with.
And if you can tell your story, maybe you can help somebody. So I think that's
important.
I love
that, and I will tell that story.
Okay.
And it's a tough story, bro. Honestly, it is. So yeah. So all right. So. That's another story I didn't tell when I was overseas. So when I was overseas, I tore my meniscus and slight tear of the ACL, chasing down an Iraqi, which led me to prescription painkillers at the time. So I left a month early from Iraq to come back to the stateside to get surgery on my knee, which I did, which is fine. I recovered pretty well from that. It took about 6 to 7 months from there. But then I also had bone-on-bone on the lower part of my back. So after that...
You've had a lot of bone-on-bone in the lower back of your back. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. Try to keep it light, guys. Try to keep it light. Go ahead.
So, ready? So I got prescribed oxycodone ever since young. Pretty much since my knee surgery, knee injury, all that. Then got out and my lower back had bone and bone. They want to give me knee surgery.
Wait. Back surgery.
I mean, sorry, back surgery. I had knee surgery.
Yeah.
They want to give me back surgery. You actually talked me out of that.
I did, because I've had 3 of them.
Living with you.
Yeah.
Living with you probably 2 years, I think. 2 to 3 years.
I don't want to go off on that side tangent, but if you can find another way around it to not have surgery in anything, my personal story is back surgery, but do it. But anyway, back to you.
Well, it was right, though. So you kind of led me not to do that. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Let's try not to do this. So I did. I kept with opiates for a while. I didn't even think it was a problem, honestly. I had no clue it was a problem.
I think a lot of people don't be right because they're prescribed to you. So
I thought it was just doctors.
You think, how can a doctor be wrong? If they're prescribing it to me, it's got to be good for me, right? It's got to be helping me in some way.
100%. That's what I thought, man. So I joined the police academy. I went into police academy. I listed all that. Everything was listed.
Guys, listen up, man. This is a heart-wrenching story. Truly, he was living with me at the time, or had just moved out and moved in with Derek.
Kind of just moved out. Yeah. But it was such a.
It was something he really wanted in his life, but he wouldn't have the neck tattoos he does today if it worked out. So
100%.
Go ahead.
So I was in the police academy. I did extremely well in there, actually. I met a lot of great people. I never took it while I was in the police academy. It was only kind of like to go to sleep from the guys. I thought my back injury. It was just something incorporated into my life. So I would say 2 days. It was 2 days before graduation. I had family coming in. I had my friends coming in. It was graduation time.
From out of state, right?
Yeah, from out of state, bro. It was crazy. So they were supposedly watching someone that I knew that I was connected to. I ran up my prescription. My doctors for the VA closed at 4:30. I didn't get out of the academy till 5:30. So I was like, oh, you know what? I know a friend that has it. Let me go just grab it from him. Did that. So I was coming home. Boom. I didn't think anything of it. I was 2 days from graduation. I was like, you know what? No worries. No need to hide nothing. Like, I had a prescription for it.
And what you mean is you bought some
stuff
off
the
street from your pal. You're leaving there and you got pulled over is what you mean. Okay.
100%. Yep. So I did, and then I didn't hide anything. They're like, "Can I search your car?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." And then they found it. So they wanted me to do a controlled buy off my friend to get my job back for become a law enforcement officer. I wouldn't do that. That wasn't a part of my character. I couldn't do that. I took the rap for it.
I respect that.
I took the rap for it because if not, you. And then I remember, so Mike Massonority, I grew up with Dana Massonority my entire life.
Yeah, maybe not mention names there, but I know.
But
doesn't matter now. He's retired, but yeah.
It doesn't matter, but he came to me, like the biggest thing he said to me, this is why I'm mentioning his name, is it depends on what type of guy you're going to come out now.
Right.
Who are you going to become?
Right.
It doesn't matter what happened now. Who are you going to become in life?
Correct.
What type of person?
Correct.
And then after that, you guys all came as my intervention. So
yeah, a little bit of time passed, but
a little bit of time.
So for me, I'm sorry to interrupt your story.
Yeah.
For me, I've known you a long time. Frankie's known you a long time. I knew you had a problem because you were just acting so off. You
could tell.
You would come into the gym and talk to. You wouldn't work out. You would come into the gym and you'd be real jabber-jarry and you'd talk to me and the boys and then you'd leave. And then I would talk to you like the next day and you wouldn't remember coming to the gym. And I'd be like, bro, I saw you yesterday. Like, I talked to you yesterday. And you'd be like, what? Where? I was like, you came to you were in the gym. You talked to us. So I knew something was off. And then I started talking to Dell and I started talking to, and we were like, listen, we love you. We clearly love you. We didn't know, nobody knew what to do, right? So time has passed and and you're not getting any better. Clearly we knew it was a drug issue. We decided as a whole, and I want to give maybe even Dell the credit for this if I remember correctly, organize an intervention.
Derek.
I am sorry, it was Derek. You are correct.
Derek, but yeah.
Derek said we have to do an intervention with Jesse, and I what, like 10 of us showed up?
Yeah, bro.
I think so.
It was
And
a lot of
we literally,
You even gave me a shout out too, Frankie. You couldn't make it that day, but like you gave me a shout out.
we raided your bedroom, bro.
We
basically,
did.
yeah.
And that was so. Like I said, that was probably the biggest thing that happened to me in my life. And I'm like, I have all my close friends, everybody in the world, and it's like everything was crashing down on my face.
Mm-hmm.
I was just I was destroyed, honestly.
Can we talk about that day and maybe we can help society here a little bit and fulfill a void, a need?
I could have ran. I thought about running.
No, but that we called, literally all of us were on our phones searching for a place to bring you, a rehab place.
Oh, yeah, you
and
couldn't
no
find one.
fucking place would take you.
couldn't
Literally,
find
no.
nobody
They were
would.
like, take him to the emergency room.
How, like, I mean, being,
It was
being,
crazy.
Believe
being a
that?
veteran.
Can you
like,
believe
don't
that?
think-
Yeah.
there was nowhere for a veteran to go?
No, they were still. So we Derek took me actually after that day.
We decided the best thing to do was to everybody, and I'm not taking credit for this because for whatever reason, maybe it was my work schedule, you never actually stayed at my house. But you bounced around to different friends' houses. I know Dell was one, Derek was one, and we just hawked him and made sure he could not do drugs for
They were on me.
for I don't know how long a period it was. And as far as I know, you got clean. As far
I
as
did.
I know.
No, I did. It was yeah, bro, that was a long road, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I know many people, too many, that didn't come back from this.
Exactly.
Story.
Of course.
I know
bro.
a couple that
Me
did,
too.
and you know, my hat's off to you because obviously it's an epidemic, and like I said, you usually hear the bad stories, so it's good to hear.
It's good to hear a good story. That's why I want to tell that. It's like I'm trying not to get too emotional about it because, like, yeah, that.
But I
that
think
really
I'm not trying
touched
to
my life,
put you
man.
on the spot or embarrass you in any
No,
way. I think
no.
your story can help somebody. I really do.
No, and I love that. I would love to help people because, like, it's embarrassing. Yes, you lost your career.
But your way is like, it's almost like, hey, Brett Favre fucking got addicted to fucking pain pills because he got an injury. That's kind of the same thing.
100%.
It's not like you're out like, I know many people that got addicted to pain pills because they were looking to get fucked up.
Right.
I wasn't, but I did grow a taste for it. And I
Yeah,
didn't
well,
like
I mean,
it, I'm not gonna lie.
you're supposed to, I mean, that's what
After
it's
the
designed
fact
to
I was
do.
prescribed it.
Yeah.
After the fact, but it also was like, I was like, I don't feel any pain or emotions, which I love.
Well,
so
that's
that
what I
coming
hear.
from military.
The crazy,
I
didn't feel
crazy
any
part about
emotions.
that is I've never seen Jesse today, not then, a guy more in tune with your inner being and your emotions than you are now. This guy is into some, I don't want to use the word crazy shit because I have the utmost respect for it. I don't do it, so I don't understand it, and I would like to.
Neither is Frankie.
I'm just not into crystals.
You just
I like
saw-
the yoga. I like yoga.
Yeah,
I like
true story,
I like
true
saunas.
story.
There's
I'm
a
down
lot
with
of
sauna.
a lot of
yeah.
yoga,
Fuck
a lot
yeah.
of meditation. Carries crystals in his pocket, as you can see. And listen, it works for him. It does. He's a deep dude.
I try to get real deep with life. So my
You ain't getting real deep with your girlfriend, so you might as well get
I did once upon a time, but that's a different story. But with that being, fuck you. All right, so no, so I met my neuro doctor, which changed my life.
Your what doctor?
A neuro.
Neuro.
So he changed my life by he's more holistic. So therefore, most neuro doctors want to just put me on Adderall and all these crazy other drugs.
Yep.
That's all they want to put me on. It's another like that's the age we're living in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, so you go from one to another, right? Fuck that. I don't want to do that. So I was like more looking at a holistic type of route. So he put me on the meditation, more of natural remedies, how to heal your brain, things of that nature. And
that's because of the TBI you have?
yeah. And I don't honestly so he did the whole brain mapping test to my brain, which got me the full like that. When as soon as the doctor's seen that, they're like, bro, you have issues in a sense. The military doctors. They didn't know that. So they hooked up brain mapping tests to your brain and find out that certain parts of my brain were operating at 39%. That fucked me, man. When I tell you that was another like thing that, but I put crazy stuff into my brain. I'm like, bro, you're operating at 39% in certain parts of your brain. That's why you mumble when you, or that's why you slur when you talk
I'm
sometimes.
pretty sure that's Tito's.
Well, that's definitely Tito's too. But Tito's,
I'll be honest.
Who knows?
I mean, I couldn't tell that you had I couldn't tell.
couldn't?
I could not tell. No.
No.
I don't know. Not at all.
Really?
Not even a little bit.
You're very
Maybe the people I keep are not
you're-
too high level, but
No.
but I'm saying I couldn't
No,
tell.
never.
I actually love that. Thank you.
I rip
I'm
on
not
you.
bullshitting. I mean,
I rip
shit.
on you, make fun of you when we go out and you have a couple drinks because you become another human being.
Well,
think
that's,
that-
that's
a fun
that's,
loving
that,
one,
that's
but-
the alcohol.
But
talking.
without alcohol, I would never know, dude. You're a very intellectual guy.
I try to be
you're
the
very in
that's-
tune with your mind and your body. Bro.
You're my kind of guy. I like the.
Yeah. I don't know how much I believe in that, but
Off-beaten
it's probably
path type
True.
because I've never tried it. I should try something, especially meditation. I really want to try meditation because I get anxiety so fucking bad.
I have a hard time meditating, but yeah.
So did I tell you my first time meditating?
But I realize like meditating. I'm starting to realize it could be anything. Like when I'm driving, I could be
Right.
meditating.
Right.
You-
100%.
You don't need to be like fucking Indian style or whatever.
no.
I feel like in the shower, that's one of my best times, bro.
That's your best thinking.
Yeah.
I come with best thoughts in the
another
shower.
Yeah.
Another thing Jesse does. He's into some. Well, first of all, I went to Florida with him. When I picked him up, he was meditating. I always say in front of a hot fan, but it was infrared lights at like 5 a.m. in the morning. But he brought 2 full bags of holistic shampoo with this fucking guy. Like everything is holistic, but you take an incredible amount of vitamins, right?
Yeah.
Incredible amount. You've never seen anything like it. But takes
it's
a
absurd.
Take mushrooms.
takes
take
an
mushrooms,
ice cold shower
Yeah,
every day,
everything.
right?
Yeah.
14 different brands.
Chaga, right? Lion's mane, all that
Lion's
stuff.
mane, Rishi.
Rishi, yeah, I'm gonna start doing. I gotta start doing.
Bro,
I
there's
got all
so many
upstairs.
different. There's 14
Does
different
it help
blends.
you? You think it helps you?
I want to say yes,
You want to say yes?
but I take so many different
Yeah,
supplements.
yeah.
It's like
My problem, like, I have a bad, like, I've done a lot of different stuff, and I just like, I always feel okay.
I'm the same exact way you
But
are.
I feel you always feel
The
like a beast.
exact same way
You
you
guys
are.
both feel the
I'm
same.
the exact same way as you.
I know.
take such a hard
people
time. Be like,
people are
"Does it
like,
work?"
that
I'm like,
made
"Yeah."
such a difference in my life, and I'm like, I gotta fucking try that shit. And I try it, and I don't just try it once. My friend Amy, she's extremely
she's so
holistic, and she swears she never gets sick. She's like, I haven't been sick in 15 years. I take colloidal silver. I put garlic in my
goodness.
ears.
Yeah,
I
tell you.
I try that shit, and I don't see a
I'll tell
fucking
you,
rat's ass bit of difference.
I had an ear infection before I was going to Korea, actually, and I dripped garlic on my ear, and it fucking healed it.
Really?
I swear.
It's not that I don't believe. It's just my personal experience. I haven't. But I think the problem is I wait till I get real sick and do it, and then it's
And
too
then
late.
you
Oh,
you
yeah,
wait until the
yeah,
last
yeah.
minute, and they're
It's
like,
too
"Oh,
late.
it's not
Yeah,
working."
right,
I'm already sick as fuck.
But the problem is she's got like a refrigerator full of shit. As soon as she feels it coming on, I gotta call Amy and be like, "Can you leave shit on your porch?" And then like 2 days has passed, and then I'm, was incubated and I'm sick as shit, and I start taking it. So
I was about to hit up Amy, be like, "Yo, can you clean my ears?"
yeah.
No, for real, because I do the hot water in the ears,
Yeah.
and sometimes I have the doctors clean them out. But I need.
You do.
Do you see those wax things? You ever see those things?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I never use it either. I don't know.
And then
it-
I have.
You drip it in and then you pull it out. It
I
pulls
don't know.
all
I
the-
think I think you put this thing in your. I could be wrong.
The wax
you put
handles?
this thing in your ear. You put it like this, and then you light it.
Oh right.
Yes,
and
the wax
heat,
handles.
the heat pulls it out. Right.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I don't know how much that works.
But
I
you
don't know. I've
take
never
you
tried
take
it.
an ice cold shower every day.
Every
right?
day, bro. So I'm.
Well, you start out with ice cold shower in the morning.
Yeah,
every
bro,
day.
I was trying to introduce you to this.
Yeah, I know. You've
So
been
it's,
telling me about this, and
the guy-
I have a couple people who've been telling me about it. What, William
Wim
Hof?
Hof. Wim
Yeah,
Hof,
yeah,
bro. He's like.
I don't know, man.
That's the guy that walks around everywhere barefoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fucking Iceman. They call him the Iceman.
Iceman,
Because he
yeah.
is an Iceman. He can
His
fucking
breathing
climb.
I'll do some of his breathing techniques when I
Liddell's,
have to
yeah?
do something cold, like just the one where you breathe in, and when you breathe in, you take a deep breath in, you only let out 15%. Then
Yep.
take another deep breath in, only let out 15%. Bro, I do that when I do cryotherapy sometimes.
How
I
do
don't
you
know,
feel?
bro. I'm sweating when I'm doing
Yeah, bro.
cryotherapy.
Yo, it
You
is.
know, like my
It's-
armpits will sweat while I'm doing.
Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe
You're controlling
because you
your
have
autoimmune
so
system.
much extra oxygen. I think in your
Yes.
in your blood, and it elevates your body core temperature. But I don't know. Is that even fucking smart to do? I'm paying to use cryotherapy, and I'm making my core temperature up. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, but no, so are you ready? So a disease or cancer or anything cannot live in an oxygenated body. So when you
Not
oxygenate,
oxygenated, isn't it?
No, actually, you know what? I'm gonna tell you
it's
this.
not oxygenated. It's isn't it a pH? Isn't it a pH?
But I know this. I know oxygen is what we need to survive, but
Yes.
oxygen also kills our cells.
by doing the deep breathing. So when you release,
I don't know about deep breathing. Just oxygen deteriorates cells. That's what oxygen does to
Really?
cells. Yeah.
So what I was taught was that when you do the deep breathing, you oxygenate your body. Then we release it all at the end. When you hold your breath for the 2 to 3 minutes of the Wim Hof
what?
method.
What? How do you hold your breath for 2 to 3 minutes?
This is part of Wim Hof method.
Yeah, I haven't got that far, I guess.
So ready? So it's like the deep breathing that you're talking about, abdomen breathing. Ready?
An overly alkaline body.
Listen,
basically.
yeah. I'm explaining it real quick and very simple. It's just deep breathing for 30 to 45 inhalations through your abdomen, though.
Like,
and at the end,
what is that called?
It just started getting a little hard.
yeah, at the end you release it all. You hold it for 2 to 3 minutes. I could do that.
All right. So
Wait, you could hold your breath for 2 to 3 minutes?
2 solid. I get 2.5.
I've seen Ricardo Almeida.
Yeah.
You know who he is, right?
Yeah.
of course.
5 minutes underwater in Abu Dhabi.
See?
Really?
5 minutes, yeah. When I fought
no
for
joke.
the title in Abu Dhabi, we were there. He did the one
Isn't
day
there a
3
lot
minutes,
of that about
4
just
minutes,
being calm?
5 minutes. Yeah, he did 5 fucking minutes. I'm not joking. I
Wow.
was like, holy shit.
Bro, I didn't think I could do 3. I did 3 once.
I used to trick my friends when I was in high school. I used to do it in a hot tub and be like, watch how long I hold my breath. But you can put your mouth around the little fucking bubble holes and you can breathe air. I'd stay under there for like 10 minutes. They'd be like, they'd pull me up like, bro, he's dead.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
You do that?
I used to do it in high school all the time. I'd be like,
You were
watch this.
sucking through the oxygen
Yeah.
hole.
He was sucking all right.
Here we
Such a
go.
sucker.
Here
He
we
was
go.
sucking all
Here we
right.
go. All right, so a staple on our show, right, with most of our guests, almost
love
all
it.
has been talking about how they lost their virginity. I don't want to hear that from you yet. You know the story I want you to talk about?
What's
Because
that?
he's such an interesting dude with some of the shit he does. Talk about, and I'm going to phrase this wrong, but internalizing your orgasm, whatever you call it.
Wait,
Jesse
Kama
Jesse
Sutra? Like
Jesse
Kama
can
Sutra?
internalize
I
his
want to know how to do
orgasm.
this, bro.
I didn't even know what he
I think
meant. I'm like,
you have to stop watching porn. To
I
do
was
it,
like,
though.
what? You're coming inside of yourself when you first told me
that's
that.
what the guy talked
Well,
about.
I've heard of it, like
All right.
tantric, a tantric orgasm. Isn't that what it is?
So it's who's the guy's name?
Ron Jeremy.
I probably
Maybe
could.
Ron Jeremy? No, it
The
wouldn't.
hedgehog.
It's shit. What is his name? Dr. Mantua or something like that.
Dr. Kevorkian.
Because Jesse will go on these stints. He really will. He calls it living the monk life, where he'll if he doesn't
Manchia?
if he doesn't have a girlfriend, he'll swear off women for a while. So then he learns these crazy weird techniques, and he's like,
do.
"Bro, I learned how to internalize my orgasm." We were on a
did.
road trip, and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Like how?
Talk about it.
Like with
Yeah,
a
so
woman
ready?
or
I
a
did-
manual orgasm.
Ah, sorry, I thought this whole thing was false. I did. Dr. Manchia. I want to say that's what his name is. He was on the guy who owns Quest Bars. I watched Impact Theory. Impact Theory is very. It just gives information about what you kind of different ways to learn about the world, from health, wealth, fitness to every aspects of life. So I think it was Manchia. I want to say that, and I'm sorry if I'm miscorrecting it.
No, but-
But he teaches how to internalize your orgasm.
No, I've
It's
heard
so
of this.
weird
like,
to
I
talk
know.
about.
Isn't this like tantric or Kama Sutra? Isn't that shit, right? Am I right or no?
Yeah, but
Am
you
I
could
wrong?
like, yeah, that's what he's saying. It's like the Taoist.
So
religion.
like you don't physically nut.
you don't, and it's
But you
it's
nut
all-
inward.
It's
But-
the
but all right, so-
sensation of
nutting,
having an orgasm, but there's
it goes
no
to your-
actual fluid.
it goes to your fucking head.
Okay, so how do you
Cranium.
do it? How do you, for those people at home that want to have an internal orgasm?
I've done it.
How do you
I've
do
done
it?
it.
I know.
I didn't think
I
it was
know that you
possible.
have, pal. How do you do it?
All right, so I didn't think it was possible. I thought it's all bullshit. I'm like, no way you could do that. This is crazy.
Listen, I want to know how to do this.
This is craziness.
I'll
I
save
know.
socks like crazy.
Those little ankle socks. His kid's ankle socks.
Stop.
I
it.
use a knee high.
yeah.
I use a DI. Huh? All right. One upper. Nah, but all right. So truthfully, I didn't do it. I wasn't successful at first, honestly.
He was a mess. Literally.
Comment.
all over
It was
the place.
jizz everywhere.
It was though. So, but no. After a couple of tries, I finally. He was like,
Are
it's
you-
more the breathing technique. It's more of when you're about to go, just do it like a slow, hard breathe in, and just trying to internalize it up to your cranium to like your pineal gland area. So those that don't know what your pineal gland is, that's your spiritual gland in your brain.
Third eye.
Yeah, you guys know. Oh, you know that.
Ah, come on, bro.
Bro, not a lot of people know that. Don't say come on, bro, because like I try to tell people that. They're like, what? What's your third eye? Oh, you use fluoride in your toothpaste?
I'm old school. I'm going to use...
I'm like, yeah, I use no fluoride in my toothpaste. And they're like, why? I'm like, because of my third eye. They're like, what is your third eye? And then you said third eye like it was like, okay.
I mean, I know things. I know these things.
You do know things. So that being said, I failed many times. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I can't even do this shit. One time I got it, I felt the fucking power. I'm like, woo! That was crazy. I'm like,
Dude,
yo, nothing came out.
It literally
I'm like,
feels like you're having an orgasm. Literally.
Yeah, I felt like I had an orgasm. Went to my fucking brain. I said, woo! In my head. I didn't say it out loud. I think I just said woo in my head. I'm like
toes,
okay.
toes are curling. You're like,
yes,
like an orgasm.
Yes,
really.
almost like toes are curling. Yes, exactly like that.
You guys use your fucking third eye. I'll use my girl's brown eye.
So now, have you tried this with a chick?
No, I don't think
Why would you try it with
a
a chick? There's no point
So
in that.
that wasn't me
What do you
watching
mean?
porn either.
What do you mean?
Hey, babe, watch this.
I'm just saying. I'm saying you don't like. Listen, instead of pulling out,
So
you
ready?
fucking pull in.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think
Agreed.
I don't
But
know
if
if
your
it
chick's
works like
with
that,
it,
though. I don't
if
think
your chick's got to be with it.
What do you mean? What, she wants to see the good? The
No,
goods?
no. She got to be with it. Like, okay, I get where you're going with this.
But it doesn't allow you
Because
to.
most chicks want to see you orgasm to be like,
Right,
all
right.
you
Like,
game?
I pleased
Mission
him.
accomplished.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't they say like again the tantric? It's like
I feel like-
your orgasm could last much longer too.
Listen,
This way, right?
listen to me.
Correct.
Frankie, listen to me.
Yeah.
Tonight, Renee usually goes to bed. I'm going to go upstairs. She's in bed. Kids are in bed. Just go sit in the corner in a chair.
And try to do this by myself.
Just Renee wakes up, kind of looks at you in the corner. You just have like a spotlight on you.
Yeah, but
and just be
Renee's
trying
spiritual.
your
She'll
hardest
get this.
to internalize.
She'll get it. She'll be like, I already know all about this. It's so
I feel
old
like
school.
she'll call the cops, but anyway.
No, I don't think so. I just think she'll just know. She's about crystals.
Veins
and all
popping
that.
I'm
out
gonna
in his forehead.
internalize.
He's like,
I honestly, I'm not gonna lie because I've heard about this and I've definitely tried and never nowhere
Wait,
near.
you've
Didn't
actually
work,
tried
man.
it, bro? You've
Oh, you
tried
did?
it?
I
I've
didn't
tried to
know
keep
that.
it in, but it always comes out.
I thought that was the big payoff. Like, I don't get it. I don't know.
The big payoff was honestly when I didn't.
Really?
I didn't realize that. I'm like, I thought the whole thing was bullshit. Bro, it probably took me almost 20 tries. I'm not going to
20.
lie.
That's not a lot.
You gotta
Holy
lo-
shit!
I feel
20
like that's a
tries.
lot. I feel like that's a
You
lot.
guys got
That's
a
not
lot of time on your hands.
No. No, it does not happen every time.
Well,
It
do you try to make it happen every time?
doesn't
You
happen.
can
every time.
honestly look me in the eye and tell me that is as fulfilling as smashing a beautiful girl.
What do you
No.
mean? Wait. Why can't you do this with a girl? I'm not gonna do this by myself.
If I had a
I
girl
did it by
there,
myself. I did it by
You
myself.
want to nut on him?
no.
Like why?
if I got
Why
a-
do you want to nut on him?
'Cause there's
if
a
you
vag-
could still feel the nut, the
because
pleasure of the nut.
Because the party is not needed. If I could do that, which I'm pretty sure I can't, I would go home tonight with nobody there and just fucking sit in a fucking beanbag and be like, "Ah!"
No,
You know what
it's
I
not
mean?
like
So
you
ready,
fucking.
Frankie?
Oh, it's not like you don't fucking manually fucking make yourself go.
I didn't say anything
You
about manual.
can't just sit there and be like, oh, you know, you gotta fucking do something to make it happen.
I didn't say breathe. I'll sit in a fucking beanbag and come. You know what I mean? But
talking
I'm
about?
saying you're the weirdo. You're like,
How am I asking
if,
it weird?
if I'm with a girl, why wouldn't you want to learn how to do this? Because she has a vagina.
What are you talking about? It's the coming. It's not the fucking. I'm gonna fuck. I'm gonna nut. I'm just not gonna come. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, but
Am I
never
right?
did-
Am I not-
No,
am I-
you're
I think-
definitely
I think
right.
you may-
I don't have a girlfriend for that long, so therefore.
Frankie may need to see a
can't-
psychologist.
No, am I not
You're,
explaining?
with
you're
you,
fucking
but I
absolutely
would've
insane
done that.
crazy.
What am I insane? What are you
What-
talking about?
Because if there's a girl present, there's
I
no
would've
need
done it
to
with
do
a girl,
that.
No
though.
need to do what?
To internalize your
Why not?
orgasm.
Why
What do you
not
mean?
be
Why
pleasing
can't
her?
you? Why can't you have sex?
If she
while you're
was-
having sex, you're fucking. Okay, I'm like
Because
I'm
I
doing
would
emotions.
think
I'm
that
doing
I would,
emotions
I
right
would
here.
think
Okay, now listen.
that this is a solo activity. I would think.
No, listen.
No.
Okay,
Listen,
no,
he
no,
just wants to
but
explain
it's
a
the
different
end.
side.
It's the end. The solo activity is yes. This is the solo part, but the solo part ends with him either nutting
Okay,
or him
I'll
internalizing.
I'll
okay?
explain to you why.
Okay, no,
because
listen.
if I'm in the middle of doing that, I'm not in my head going to be like, okay, let me now not actually. Now I'm in there.
But I'm saying if you
having-
have that power,
I don't
Okay?
have that power.
I'm saying,
Bro,
Jesse, you
I don't
have that
know.
power. Listen,
I don't have that power.
Listen, to me, Jesse has that power to fuck internalize it while he's doing it himself. Why can't he do it when he's with a chick?
Well, I
That's what I'm
haven't
saying.
mastered that part yet, though.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't.
Hey, that's the next
I
level.
know.
bro.
I know.
That's
Jesse.
the fucking next
I know
level.
you.
That's the next
There's
level.
no way you're bringing a girl home and
No,
you're
never.
balls
Never.
deep.
I'd be like,
and you're gonna be like, watch this, baby.
I'd be like, where is it?
Nothing's
It's magic.
gonna come out.
It's nothing there. It's magic. I made it disappear.
That's called.
You know what I'm saying?
That's faking an
Magic.
orgasm. I've actually done that.
Have you? You
I
picked
have.
one?
Yeah, because I just wasn't into it and I wanted it done.
Wow,
and I was
dude,
just
you wanna
like,
know
yeah.
what?
Yeah,
I've
done
never
that.
I
done
fucking
that.
did too.
I
Did
just
you?
haven't.
too.
I haven't been
I
that
did
into
too,
it. They
bro.
didn't do it for me.
Serious?
Oh man, in college with some chick,
And I was just like,
yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, baby, you're fucking amazing.
God.
Never talk to her again.
I
you
did
spit?
too,
Yeah,
bro.
I've
spit?
done it. No, I just
Oh, you
acted
spit on
like
the
I
back?
busted them up. Yeah, no.
I heard one of my boys tell me they spit on the back, like just to pretend like
That's
they did it.
not a bad
You
idea.
spit on the back.
Yeah, like oh, I did it.
Yeah,
They're
but
like, oh, yeah.
the
I'm
girl.
like I internalized it.
I feel like I feel
what
like
the fuck are you
that's what I'm
talking
gonna say
about?
from now on. Now that I
You
know this,
should.
but I feel like the girl's gonna
Skills.
hear you spit. I'm gonna be like, "Phew," she's gonna be like, "You came?" I'm like, yeah, no, I came.
Yeah. My cock fucking makes a spit noise when I come.
Yeah,
No,
no, but
I've,
yeah, all
I've
right, so
definitely faked it.
you want to hear a weird fact about me?
Yeah.
So in the
Hold on,
morning,
let's go.
No,
Let's
no,
go.
no, no. In the
How much
morning-
weird can we get?
Let's get number 10 for the night right
In
here.
the morning, if I get really horny, I will start sneezing out of nowhere.
What?
Yo, on my life, I do the same thing.
What?
I swear to God.
How
on
long you
my
guys live
life,
together? How long you guys live together?
If I
I think it might have been something in
Yo,
water.
if I even start looking at Pornhub, I start sneezing.
Bro,
I swear to God, bro.
Only in the morning.
I think it's the breathing. It's the breathing.
only in the morning though.
No, any time of day.
No,
he's
mine's in the
he's,
morning.
he's stroking his shit. Chew. Chew.
I've had my ex ask me,
Snot come everywhere.
like, why you sneezing? Why you sneezing everywhere? I'm like,
It's a
I
snot
do the
rag. I
same
swear,
thing.
it's a
Why
snot
is
rag.
that? Why is that?
I don't know.
I
what
sneeze all the time in the
No,
morning.
mine's in the morning. Mine's in the morning.
It's like a dead giveaway. Like when I was married, I'd be like, turn the shower on, and be like, achoo, achoo, achoo. James like, you jerking off again? I'm like, maybe.
What the fuck? Wait,
Is that weird? Yeah, it's
I
weird
swear,
statistics.
it's got to
You
be
never
the.
have?
It's got to
No.
be the breathing.
No.
Because you breathe differently when you're like, you're like.
I fucking guess,
do.
bro. I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know what it is, but like, yeah, I sneeze.
I sneeze like a bat. It's so weird.
Like,
You
why
said.
you
I thought. I
sneezing?
literally thought I was the only one.
I try not
literally
to
thought
sneeze
was the
on them because I
only
don't want both snots on their back.
one. Oh no, not when I'm having sex. Before.
No, right before.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get so worked
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
I think about it in my head.
Yeah, I
I'm
start.
like, oh, I'm about
sneezing
to
like
have
that.
sex.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
It's the breathing.
achoo!
It has to be the breathing pattern. It has to be. Because I do the
so.
same thing, and I never heard anybody ever say that before.
I'll just admit everything. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck.
Yeah, I
bro.
see that.
Hey, it's all right.
It's like
You're on the right show. You're on the right show.
We're on the right show, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm talking about.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Listen,
thought this was a fucking fun ass show today.
you can come
Jesse.
on anytime you want,
Yeah.
brother.
You're,
because-
you're gonna be a
Yeah.
resident on the Champ and the
Yeah,
Champ.
yeah.
I
Champ
fucking
and a
love it, bro.
tramp.
I put you guys out there all the time, man.
You're
You
the
guys
best,
are doing
bro.
great
You're
things
best,
in
man.
life.
Jesse's
dog.
actually-
you're honestly, you're such a positive energy. Like this
Thank
weekend,
you.
Saturday,
Thank you.
like I thought we're a good little tandem. Or I guess
we're gonna do it every year. Same team every year.
Yeah, man, I like having your company around, man. And,
Bro, you guys are
and
awesome,
it's cool. You're
though.
doing good stuff with the veterans, and keep
So much
pursuing
more
that
to
stuff.
that, though.
I got to get skydiving.
You guys
I
are
don't
coming
know,
out this
man.
year,
I
though.
don't-
So this is my
Well, at
game
least we're
plan.
gonna do it. We're gonna do the wind tunnel. Let's
So
do the
ready?
wind tunnel.
Let me give me my game plan for the summer.
He
though.
just wants to see me get fucked up in the winter.
I know. You might though.
I
You
probably
might,
will.
because I
I
might.
probably will.
We're gonna have to.
But
cut
I want
over
you.
250.
I told Jamie this too. So you, Frankie, and Jamie come in with me. Eat Clean Bro gonna be out there. Skydive cross skis. We'll do the whole thing. We'll honor some veterans out there. They get to meet you guys because
That'd be cool.
there's a lot of
I love
veterans that look up to you guys. I don't know if you guys know that. There's so many people that reach out
I don't
to
know
me.
why, honestly.
No, I do.
Frankie,
You-
I can say I'm a fucking Jersey.
Bro,
I
Shore
look up
legend.
to you because you're 6'4", bro. What the
Well,
fuck?
that's true.
Oh yeah,
Ain't
man.
nobody
that's
looking
why-
up to Frankie.
I say 6'5" all the time. He's like, bro, I'm 6'4". I'm like, all right, bro, chill.
The hair,
All
the hair is
fucking
six-
6'4". It's all right, 6'5" with the hair. All right, shit. But no, a lot of people look up to you guys. A lot of people respect you guys. You guys are big.
I'll make you a deal.
What's that?
We'll jump. We'll go. Yep. We'll spend the day. We're proud supporters of our military vets.
So what's
if
that?
we all, on the way down, we all internalize our orgasms on the jump down.
Bro, if you can. I can. I don't know if you can.
Fucking play the car was a bunch of sneezing going on.
Yo, what's Frankie and Jesse doing? Oh, you mean Roger and Jesse? Oh, they're sneezing. Frankie's not doing shit. He's like, I don't do this shit.
When you had that half shirt thing going, I almost started sneezing and control. Achoo.
But nah, for real. But like, I told Jamie that I want all you guys down there. There's a lot of people that look up to you.
That'd be cool, man. Definitely.
You're a big
Eat Clean Bro. I don't know how to phrase this. An Eat Clean Bro sponsored athlete, I guess,
yeah.
if you will. Yeah.
So. I told Jamie that I had none but respect for him, man.
Yeah.
He did so much for me before all of that even happened.
Right.
And there's a lot of people in the skydiving community that love him. Like, bro, how'd you get that? Is he coming out to Philly? Because it's located by Philly. And I'm like, yeah, now he's out by Philly. So a lot of people are doing that now, and they're incorporating their lifestyle into that, which I love, man.
Yeah.
You trying to clean up your diet, trying to clean up your health.
Yeah.
That's a new wave, man.
I mean, we love him anyway, but he gives so much back. That's
He
what we
does.
love
He
about him.
does,
He was our last guest in here, so that's
fucking-
why we got the Eat Clean Bro everywhere.
And Bob.
Real quick though, we're gonna wrap this up, but
What's up?
I post about you a lot. You do a lot of things with me and my kids. My kids love you. You're terrific with my kids. We do a lot of outings together. There's not a lot of single dudes that you call up and like, bro, you want to spend the day with me? Or you even hit me up sometimes. You're like, bro, what are you doing this weekend with the kids? You know, let's get together. And he'll spend the entire day. My kids love him. He helps me with them. But I post about Jesse a lot. He's on a lot of my Instagram posts. I call him my little brother, as I said before, or Uncle Jesse. And he gets a lot of love from the ladies, the blue eyes, the tattoos and stuff. So real quick, for the girls out there, for the ladies, what is your can the girls be sliding in the DM? What is your dating strategy?
All right. So the girls slide in my DM. I'm fucking horrible
Listen,
with
think
that.
about this. You could fuck and not get nutted on.
There will be no payoff for you in the end.
There's always a payoff. Like, that's my goal in life. So if I don't fulfill my side, I'm a loser. I think that honestly, that's always been my go-to. I'm a loser if I don't do that.
Yeah,
but
by what? Giving a girl an orgasm first.
You have to.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
If not, you're a loser. And I've dated a couple.
I'm
girls
a selfish prick because I'm getting mine, bitch. You better get yours. Oh, I'm kidding.
I don't know so much about that, but yeah, all right. But that's how I operate. I'm not selfish. I don't want to be selfish. This world has too much. I lived that selfish state of mind for a minute.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that way.
Well, that's good. There you go, ladies.
That's gotta be like we talking
that's
personal.
encouraging.
But yeah, that's
so
what I'm trying
single,
to get at.
not single. What's your story?
I'm not single. I'm kind of like. There's a girl.
There's a new girl in town, ladies.
It's nothing official yet, but yeah, there's a new girl. She knows who she is.
He be ghosting nuts and stuff.
Yeah, but at least she knows now what happened to him.
She's like, I can hang out with him. He's not even gonna come on me.
Yo, what happened though? What happened to him? I'm like, yo, it went inside my brain. What's up? You don't have that happen? Nah, but for real, I love all humans, man. It's life's too short for this egotistic world that we live in. We're trying to change that whole aspect of life, which I love.
You're a very positive human. All jokes aside, extremely positive. Nothing but good energy comes out of you. I'm so glad that you told your story. I know I put you on the spot with that. I didn't give you any fair warning.
I love it.
But I truly, truly feel like it's an epidemic now, what's going on. In our community, especially, Tom's River is heavily affected by it.
I lost a lot of people to it. So that's something I didn't say.
I've been to a lot of funerals. And I
too
think,
many, man.
I think
right?
your story can help people. Your entire story, you know, all the way back to your military, but especially your struggle and your battle through that period of your life. And I'm glad you shared that. And I'm sorry I didn't give you a heads up on that. But honestly, it just popped in my head, and I was like, I know Jesse. I know his personality. He's not going to have an issue with this. So
I would not have an issue with that. It was like 8 years of opioid problem type deal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
A lot of people go through it, and not many people make it out. So
They don't.
Hats off
And
to
I
you.
fucking love it, bro. I look at life every day. I'm like, bro, you could have went down that rabbit or whatever the hole you
bro,
want.
you could literally not be here anymore. You know?
or not be here.
Yeah.
I could have went to other hard things. But there's a couple things that certain people like you guys all came over and said you're a certain piece. Everybody's certain piece in life that said like, yo, it's who you're gonna become after this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what you are now.
Right.
and that stuck it with me in my head.
You're happy where you're at?
I fucking love it, man.
You're how old?
I'm 36.
Want a family one day? Want children? You're so good with my kids. I can't imagine you without kids.
Yo,
but-
truthfully, I did, bro.
Yeah.
But it was.
Stop internalizing your cum.
Nah, it's not that. It's not that.
You're gonna knock yourself up.
I did already. What? I had an abortion. What?
You want to find the right one now.
I do.
Yeah.
And I've always been that route. I'm not gonna settle. Tell anything else. Why
Why would
settle?
you?
Why would you settle? Because a lot of people settle in life.
Renee did.
No, never that. They're both crazy together. They both. She loves her crystals. He loves fighting. Nah, but with that being said, like.
The divorce guy over here piping up.
You're good, bro. You're good. It's just everybody's trying to figure out their route in life.
I agree.
We're
Yeah, I
all
agree.
changing. We're in the age of information where everything's changing in life.
Well, listen, I know I speak on
Right.
behalf of my co-partner over here and myself. We wish you nothing but the best in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, no, I had a blast
Nothing but
tonight.
love, bro.
Good times, man. You're good people. So
100%,
we'll
bro.
do this again.
100%. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking for this whole skydiving adventure.
Yeah,
with
we
all
got to
of
do
us.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
No bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's. I
You
want to
think
see
Jamie
Roger
would go?
fucking flying.
Think
in
we'll
the
call him out and he'll go? I don't know if he'll
Big
go.
Berm?
What?
Well, I don't know if Big Perm will go. Will Big Perm go or
Jamie?
Jamie?
We're all gonna go.
Jamie's working out now. He's working out a lot with Sitch and stuff. So I think he might have to drop a few lbs, but he's getting there. So
I think he's there
yeah,
almost.
Yeah. Is he?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, it looked pretty slim for me.
Yeah, no, he's as long as we're all there, because I was very close last time, probably even closer this time. But
We're gonna make it happen, bro. We're gonna
250
fucking
pounds.
bring the
Frank-
rubber suit. And you're gonna run some laps in the parking
Yeah,
lot
fuck
if we
yeah.
have to. All right.
make a
Fuck
good,
yeah.
make a good video. Let's do it.
No, I would make a fucking epic video for all of us to be there.
A
doing
guy
that.
did it. Remember they told the story when we were there. Guy actually did that and dropped like 8 pounds.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He was a wrestler though.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Champ of the Tramp. Loved having Jesse Holt in. Follow
Yeah,
him
man.
on Instagram. Jesse
Just
Holt 7. Jesse Holt 7
Very easy.
on the gram. Great dude. If you guys are combat wounded vets at all out there, follow him. Reach out to him on the DM if you have an interest in going skydiving. Jesse has the
will take
ability.
you.
Jesse has the ability to make that happen. But it's been a pleasure to have you in. It's not often that you can have an actual friend in that has an interesting enough story to tell that can entertain,
And
followers,
benefit.
viewers, and visitors.
Benefit.
That can actually have a benefit from that. So it was a pleasure to have you in, brother, and we love
Bro,
you.
I love
and,
you guys, man. I love what you guys are doing.
Jesse was here actually a couple nights helping
Yeah,
us set
helping
up
us set
this
this fucking room up.
this
so,
podcast
yeah.
room. So yeah,
Yeah, it's an epic room, bro. You guys are doing great things in life.
Hey,
Giving
trying,
back to the
man.
community.
Trying.
100%. Love you guys.
Champ of the Tramp, guys. Share, like, subscribe, check us out. Peace.
100%. Later.